Live on CBC, Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Ford of Canada, on behalf of Ford and Mercury dealers from coast to coast. Ahead and participating retailers and record companies in Canada. The Bank of Nova Scotia, with nearly 1,000 branches across Canada to serve you. Molson's, brewers of Molson Export Ale.
If the Boston Bruins want to win the Stanley Cup, we have to win a game in the Montreal Forum. And there's no better way to go back to Boston, even up in games. Offensively, we're going to have to control the puck more, get our shots on net, go for the net. Defensively, we're going to have to control the Montreal forwards as much as possible. Slow them down, make sure they don't get the puck. It's going to be a heck of a game tonight, and if we come out on top, it's going to be one heck of a series.
And so Brad Park and the Boston Bruins must win a game in Montreal. Once again, Stanley Cup fever is running high in this city, with the defending Stanley Cup champion Canadiens seeking their third Cup victory in as many seasons. The excitement of spectacular Guy Lafleur and his colorful teammates grip this great cosmopolitan city, where hockey is king, the Stanley Cup its crown. In a matter of minutes, the Boston Bruins will try to even the series at a game apiece. But before the opening face-off here at the Montreal Forum, let's go back to Saturday night, the series opener, and the Canadiens' 4-1 victory. Boston takes an early lead. A shot by Schmatz is deflected home by Brad Park, and the Bruins score on the power play to lead 1-0. 2 minutes later, Guy Lafleur wins the face-off. Guy Lapointe's shot is knocked down, but Lafleur is there to whip home the rebound. The Canadiens have a power play goal of their own, and it's tied 1-1. Again, Montreal in the first period on the power play. Lemaire to Lafleur. To Lambert, it's deflected home, and the Canadiens lead 2-1. In the second period, Steve Shutt makes it 3-1. A classic play. Jacques Lemaire to a speeding Shutt, who makes the play on the fly and deflects it behind Cheevers up over his shoulder. It's 3-1 Montreal. The only goal of the third period, Doug Jarvis, a lead pass to the Roadrunner, Yvan Cournoyer. He makes no mistake, and it's 4-1 Montreal in game one. And now here is our host, Dick Irvin.
Thank you, Dan Kelly, and hello again, everyone. Welcome to our telecast of Game 2 of the 1978 Stanley Cup Finals from the Forum in Montreal. And once again, I welcome viewers in both Canada and the United States through the combined efforts of Hockey Night in Canada and NHL 78. Danny Gallivan will call the play-by-play along with Chico Resch of the New York Islanders. Dan Kelly is my co-host, and Lou Nanne, the general manager of the Minnesota North Stars, will be along to analyze the playoffs and tonight's game. The Bruins admit they were a bit tired in Game 1. The Canadiens agree. Tonight should be a fine show. Our Stanley Cup playoff coverage returns with the opening face-off.
The voice, B.J. Thomas.
Hey, won't you play another somebody done somebody wrong song?
The album, the B.J. Thomas Collection. 26 sensational hits in a giant 2-album set.
And she'll sing, sha-na-na-na-na-na, it'll be alright. Deep in the island of your woman, I just can't help believing when she smiles up soft and gentle, with a trace of misty morning and the promise of tomorrow in her eyes. I'm hooked on a feeling.
In the stores now, 2 record sets $6.99, paper cassette $7.99. The 26-hit B.J. Thomas Collection.
We're down at ice level at the Montreal Forum with New York Islander goaltender Chico Resch. Chico, we just want you to tell us about the 2 goaltenders involved tonight, Ken Dryden of the Canadiens and Jerry Cheevers of the Bruins.
Well, as you know, confidence is about 75% of playing goal at this level. Kenny Dryden, he always seems to play well against Boston, so you know he's going to be confident. And Jerry Cheevers, coming off an excellent game on Saturday night, I suspect his confidence will be strong also. And I'm sure he expects a tough game because I've never seen Montreal lose where the goaltender hasn't had to play extremely well.
Mr. Cheevers gave up 4 goals in the 4-1 opening game, and I thought he still played brilliantly.
We were laughing about that before the game. That says something about the team he's playing against when you play well and you give up 4 goals. And, of course, he had 4 breakaways in the 3rd period, so that's one thing he's going to have to look for and hopefully do as well.
That's Chico Resch, and now we go to Dick Urban.
Well, the Bruins hope the score will turn out a little differently than Saturday night. Lou Nanny, they'll have to play a little differently. What do you expect?
Well, Dick, I think first of all, we're going to see a much more physical game than we saw in that opening game. I expect the Bruins will take the body more, and I'd have to say that they're going to change their style of checking. Montreal was able to carry the puck over the blue line too much. I anticipate this time they might forecheck with just one man, pick up the wing so that the defenseman can stand up, sort of forcing the Canadiens to throw the puck in, letting Cheevers handle it, and that way be able to get back to their own style of play.
Use the body, but you have to catch them to hit them, don't you?
Well, if you're coming back 4 abreast, there's not that much room on the ice, and I think then they can hit them.
Okay, Lou, thank you very much. Chico Resch and Lou Nanny with us throughout this final series. The Canadiens and the Bruins now set for Game 2. Up to the broadcast booth, here is Danny Gallivan.
And from Newfoundland to British Columbia. Good evening, everybody, and a warm word of welcome to you hockey fans from Newfoundland to British Columbia and to the viewers in the United States. And we extend this welcome from the broadcast booth from Chico and me. And Chico, all games in the playoffs are important. How about this?
Well, no question, Boston has to win one game in Montreal. And talking to John Cherry and talking to some of the players before the game, they all feel tonight's the night, so it should be a good game.
Roger Doucette, he has become, over the years, a very integral part of the Forum festivity. And for the playoffs, as we mentioned last night, he is here in his just absolutely wonderful attire. And he has been in great voice, and I'm sure he's going to be in great voice tonight. Here he is.
Twilight's last gleaming, full sprouts bright and bright stars through the perilous fight. All the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And the officials for tonight's game, there's Claude Bayshard, he's one of the linesmen. Let's get them all together if we can in the center ice area. They seem to be a bit nervous tonight, Dick, also. Dave Newell, the referee, Bayshard and D'Amico, the linesmen, the Canadiens down in the north end defending as we start this hockey game, and Boston defending in the south end. Ken Bryden 1.70 is average for the playoffs. He has given up just 2 goals in the last 3 hockey games. And there's Cheevers, an average of 2.92 after his playoff activities in 10 games. And he was a bit of an outstanding performer in the game here on Saturday night, even though the Bruins lost the game. Now it's underway, the second game of the Stanley Cup Finals. Into the corner, and Park cleared it to the point. It's slapped ahead, out it comes, back in it goes. And Boston gets possession on the right side. Milbury shooting it in. Let's see if the Bruins are going to that forechecking style immediately, as they did on Saturday night. But the Canadiens start out with Davey working in on the left side. He fired the shot, and Cheevers covers up.
Lou Nanne said just a few moments ago, Chico, that he thought the Bruins would go to the body a bit more. Milbury went in very deep in the Canadian zone, missed his check, and the Bruins were caught with only 1 defenseman back.
Well, that was quite a gamble, but of course, if he hit the Montreal defenseman, it might have set the tempo, might have given his team a lift. And like you say, I think that's maybe what they're going to have to try and do at least, is take the body a little more.
Now here's the attempt that he made, but as Chico says, he missed the check on Bill Nyrop, and the Canadiens came out with Gainey making a play.
Montreal, everybody up, and from the face-off, off the corner board, Savard clearing it in. Out over the line, rolled down by Shepard. There's Savard over to Robinson. Off the stick of Middleton. The Bruins moving up, and the Canadiens forced to get clear of it back at his own line. Doak off the boards, and Middleton missed it. Robinson, he has great reach and great push. Over to Lemaire. Lemaire going in. He was being checked by Shepard, couldn't get a good shot away. Now Robinson at the point, keeping it in. Racing in, shot now up on the board. Robinson again shoots it. That's a long, weak shot. And Cheevers covering up.
I talked to Jerry before the game, Dan, and he was saying that he intended to be a little more aggressive with his stick, play the puck a little bit more tonight, and he looks very sharp to start with.
Well, Cheevers, you know, he has great mental preparation for a game. And there's going to be a story in Ken McKenzie's Hockey News tomorrow. He loves this idea of the power of positive thinking. My power of positive thinking if I were a goalie. 3 defensemen like Savard, Lapointe, and Robinson.
Yeah.
Now back it goes to Robinson. Oh! No, it's not going to be allowed. The light went on. The light went on, but the referee was there, and he waved it off. There's a shot wide. The light went on. The officials tonight, the minor officials are from Philadelphia, but the referee waved it off, and play continues. Now it's out over the line into the center ice area. Obviously, that hit the goalpost and came right out and did not go across the goal line. Now here's Robinson. Robinson feeding it back in. Lambert, Mondu, and Cournoyer, the forward line for Montreal. Up on the left side into the center ice area for Jonathan. He is forced to go back. Over on the far left side, Milbury into Jonathan. There's the shot. Off right stick.
The puck did not go in the net. It hit the goal post. Larry Robinson let it go. From the Forum in Montreal, this is Stanley Cup 78.
Here they come, the popular Ford Explorers. There's no better time to buy than now during the 11th annual Ford Explorers celebration. Special edition Ford pickups that come with special paint, mag-style wheel covers, and special cab trim. The value adds up as you add on. Pick options like power steering, Cruise-O-Matic. You'll get great value on these tough Ford Explorers. Get down to your Ford or Mercury dealer now before they're all gone.
Larry Robinson on the Canadiens bench, and early indications, Chico, are he might be in for a pretty good night. Good setup to Lemaire, and then he let the shot go and hit the goalpost.
And of course, the rebound just about went in.
That's right.
The announcement was made by Claude Mouton that what the goal judge thought was a goal was not a goal because it hit the goalpost. They always have to make the announcement once the red light goes on. From the face-off, the Bruins, everybody out. No score in this hockey game. Gainey sweeping over to the far side. Knocked off his stick by Rattel. There's Rick Smith, the defenseman, in there rather deeply. In the center ice area, Schmutz. He flicked it into the corner. Cashman coming in from the other side. Lapointe. His pass out goes to the far side. Nyrock over to the other side. Now it's Lapointe down on the right wing. He cleared it in. Bouncing into the corners, Réjean. Pass goes behind the net. Cashman playing it to Rick Smith in the corner. Here's Smith ahead to Cashman into the center ice area. Cashman can handle that fucking stick very well. There's the shot. Wide. A weak shot wide. But Dryden's covering up.
Chico, we had Rick Smith on 2 occasions going in deep in the Canadian zone. We saw Milbury before. I don't know if the Bruins are trying something new here. We're going to see this shot, Chico, that doesn't go in the net.
No question. I guess once the red light goes on, it's difficult to turn it off. Right across the crease, and here you'll see, I thought it was in a second time, but you know, when the goaltender gets breaks like that, the whole team, you kind of feel like, boy, maybe tonight's the night, and I'm sure Jerry is feeling good after that.
Now is Jarvis into the center ice area, lost it to Rattel with Cashman. Broken up by Réjean. Réjean couldn't get by his man. Here's Gainey with a shot to the side. Now Brad Park getting it into the center ice area. Gainey at the Boston line, brought it in offside.
Before the game tonight, we asked Boston goaltender Jerry Cheevers what it feels like to be the target for the Canadian shooters.
Well, there's no secret. The Canadians do come out pretty quick in here, and they come upon you quite fast. But a lot of the times in here, I feel like we are back.
Face off at the Boston line. 3 minutes and 26 seconds have gone by. This is the opening period. There is no score. There is Schmutz clearing it in. Miller, the rookie, number 14, racing in, tied up by Chartrand, and Chartrand fell. There's a lead pass at center, broken up by Brad Park, and the Bruins clearing it in. There's Robinson in the corner. Robinson starting out. It goes into the center ice area. Risebrough over on the left side. Bouchard bumping with Schmutz. There's Bouchard centering it in. Schmutz ahead to Cashman into the center ice area. Cashman's pass broken up by Risebrough. Good back-checking by Risebrough. That line you have for the Canadians. Chartrand, Risebrough, and Bouchard. Robinson upended his man. And a penalty coming up against the Montreal Canadiens for tripping.
Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Montreal Forum.
15,000 miles of protection, 15,000 miles between oil changes. In one test, cars with new STP motor oil were run to simulate stop and go and highway driving. After 15,000 miles, each engine was pulled and inspected. The results, clean parts and virtually no wear. Protection for 15,000 miles. New STP motor oil. That's extra protection.
Available at participating outlets of these stores.
CBC covers the Commonwealth Games in Edmonton August 3rd to August 12th.
The Canadians playing short-handed. First penalty of the game. Larry Robinson, there he is. He's in the box for tripping at 4:13.
Shepard, O'Reilly, Middleton, Schmutz, and Park on the power play for the Boston Bruins. Canadians from Montreal defending with Jarvis, Gainey, Lapointe, and Savard. And the Bruins igniting their power play into the center ice area off O'Reilly stuff. Middleton right in front, and he was tied up by Lapointe. Now here's O'Reilly. Into the corner it goes to Shepard. Takes the shot, and it goes off the board, on the board, and it's cleared down the ice by Gainey. A minute and 20 seconds left in the penalty to Robinson, and the Boston Bruins starting out into the center ice area with O'Reilly. He puts on the brakes, takes a look, a feathery pass into Shepard, right in front of the net, and Middleton couldn't pick it up. A shot by Park, and that one went off Dryden. over the glass.
Chico, that play had overtones of the first Boston goal on Saturday night when on the power play they fed it in front of the crease and Brad Park was there. Middleton was there this time as Wayne Cashman looks on from the Boston bench, the veteran Bruin captain.
I like the way Boston is playing tonight. They seem to be playing with a lot of confidence, and they're holding the puck, and they've worked it well on this power play.
The point into the corner. Here is Shepard. Back to the point. Scott with a good shot. That hit Middleton or Savard in front. Now it is Gainey down on the left side. Off the board. Park broke it up and takes over and leads this power play attack for the Bruins to the right side. Shepard in with O'Reilly. Too many Bruins there, and it was picked up by Uhl and cleared it into the center ice area. Good dragging of the puck by Uhl. Now it's shot down the ice and over the line, and Stevens coming up against Lemire.
Now, Chico, you've done the same thing, I'm sure. You're in the other team's rink. You hang on to the puck and the people boo. Doesn't bother a goaltender, does it?
No, actually, you know that it's upsetting the crowd, and hopefully it's upsetting a team like Montreal who likes to keep the puck flowing. I know it upsets Dan because he likes to keep things flowing. You hate to get a break. But, you know, a play like that, you want a line change because the line had been out there for quite a while, and it was a good opportunity. Here you'll see the puck flip down. A near miss, that's one thing you have to look for. Playing against Montreal, when you have a man advantage, is they still go for that long breakaway.
Chico, it upsets me because the rule is there, and it says it should be a penalty.
Yeah, well, the rule book doesn't lie.
But they never enforce it. Now back into the center ice area. Exactly 10 seconds left in the penalty. There's Marcotte, and his pass went off LaPointe's leg into the center ice area. Cashman shooting it in front into the slot position, and it's cleared up by LaPointe. Robinson ahead to Lemire, back to Robinson. Robinson right in front, and a ricochet off McNabb's skate as the penalty coming up for a hooking as Milbury went to the ice rather heavily.
And it comes just seconds after Robinson came back out of the penalty box. This is Stanley Cup 78 from the Forum in Montreal.
What do you do? Well, we told our wives.
You mean work on the boat? Yeah, work on the boat. We've got all kinds of time. There's ice in the water.
Oh, we gotta do it now. It'll be gone by the weekend.
Bet?
Yeah.
Loser buys the X.
Okay.
Such a mark.
For years, Roger and the boys have talked about working on the old boats.
Why don't we do it tomorrow?
And had second thoughts over a little Molson Export Ale.
Boat in the water before this clown's got the deck sanded.
Molson Export Ale. It keeps on tasting great.
Looking the call on the Canadiens' number 15, Réjean Poole, and we see the reason why. Mike Milbury, the Boston player, involved in the play, so the Bruins, after having a power play chance in which they didn't score, get one right back with Poole in the penalty box.
It will be McNabb at center, Cashman on the right side, Marcotte on the left wing, and Smuts and Shepard back at the point. Jarvis and Gainey up front once again for the Montreal Canadiens with Robinson and Savard on the defense, and here come the Boston Bruins into the center ice area up on the left side. And McNabb has to go back for it. Good forward checking there by Jarvis and Gainey. Now on the right side to Smuts. In it goes, and McNabb just failed to pick up that pass from Smuts. Down into the Boston zone again. Here is Smuts to the right side to Cashman. Smuts leading the attack, a four-man Bruin attack in over the line. It's loose to Robinson, and Robinson takes his time and shoots it down the ice. A minute and 12 seconds left in the Réjean Poole penalty. Cashman racing after it on the right side, but Robinson gets there. Around the net, Robinson to the other side, and it goes to center, and on it is Shepard. Now it's Smuts turning to get away from Risebrough, who is up front killing off the penalty with Lemire. Canadians doing an excellent penalty-killing job. There's Savard breaking up a pass. It's loose at the line. McNabb has it, takes a look, and fires it into the corner. In there goes Robinson, off the glass, comes to the line. Here's Rattel, getting it to Smuts. He shoots it, blocked by Savard. Savard after it. Robinson helping out into the center ice area. Risebrough trying to clear it to the near side. Lemaire was in the clear, but Risebrough couldn't get the puck over to him. Now it's Cashman, upended by Lemaire. And the Bruins fans in the crowd react on that. Here's Rattel coming in. He's sandwiched. Risebrough has it at his own line and feeds it down into Boston territory. Cashman is hit by Risebrough. Penalty has expired. Now back is Doak with a long shot. And Savard from the corner playing it up on the left side. Comes to center. Risebrough is bumped solidly by Jonathan. Here's Rattel over to O'Reilly. O'Reilly getting set, and Dryden came out. Here's Rattel centering it. Back to Jonathan. A shot, and it's blocked by Dryden. The Bruins with pressure. Jonathan shooting it, and a scintillating save by Dryden. Good pressure by Boston. Center right in front. Now here's Doak. Tipping it into the corner to O'Reilly. In front of Rattel. A shot, the rebound. Dryden is down. Here's O'Reilly to Rattel. Right in front. And it's cleared down the ice by Savard. Enormous pressure by the Boston Bruins. Still, no score in the hockey game. That is an icing infraction.
With the score, Boston nothing, Montreal nothing. This is Stanley Cup 78.
Down by the old mill stream, where I first met you.
If you have to have a meeting and can't go, a conference call gets different people in different cities together to work out whatever they're working on. Just dial 0. Ask for the conference operator. She sets it all up.
Tune in CBC television this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, for live coverage of the Memorial Golf Tournament from Muirfield, Ohio.
And Don Cherry has to be very satisfied, the coach of the Boston Bruins, with that last offensive effort by Boston. They were much more effective than they were when they had the odd man advantage, Chico.
Well, like I said, they're really controlling the puck. They're taking their time. You know, they're showing a lot of confidence. And, you know, you forget that they were a high-scoring team this year. They scored a lot of goals. They had quite a few 30-goal scores, so they can score if they take their time and don't get intimidated.
And now let us see what happens here. One thing that did happen, Cournoyer moved a bit too quickly, so there'll be another face-off to the right of Dryden. Boston out shooting Montreal 4-3. There is no score. This is the first period. Shepard tried to get it. The point is upended, and Shepard is going to get a penalty. So this will be the first power play opportunity for the Montreal Canadiens.
The Bruins have had 4 shots. 3 of them came in that last flurry after the penalty to Houle had expired. Through almost 4 straight minutes of playing with a man advantage, they did not get a shot. They didn't get a shot. Here's why Shepard is penalized. Chico, you mentioned that play that hit the goalpost. Sometimes something like that can give a team a lift. Likewise, when you kill 4 straight minutes of penalties, that can give your team a lift.
Well, it sure helps. And now the problem is, from a Boston standpoint, they just got some momentum, and now they're a man short, and it'll be interesting to see how they handle it, because as we all know how good Montreal's power play is, and the momentum was going their way, and now it may switch.
And the power play alignment for the Montreal Canadiens will be Lafleur, Lemaire, Lambert, Schutt, and Lapointe. Lafleur and Lapointe are back inside the Canadian line for this face-off at the Montreal blue line. Marcotte, truly one of the outstanding penalty killers in all of hockey. Number 21, he's on with Jonathan. Doak and Smith, the defensemen, they are moving up. They'll try to stymie the Canadiens here before they can get that great speed of theirs utilized. Now on the left wing at center. The point clearing it in, racing in as Lambert into the corner. There's Schutt following up. Schutt is tied up and knocked to the ice by Smith, and Jonathan cleared it down the ice. 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the penalty to Shepard, and the wave of Canadians coming out, and they don't get very far with Marcotte firing it back in. Now it's Lemaire behind that, turning with Lapointe. Lambert, Lafleur, and Schutt. Lemaire has it. He's going to rip a shot off the leg of Marcotte, and the ricochet brought about the offside.
Well, out on the ice right now is young Stan Jonathan, who is combining with Marcotte on the penalty-killing role. He's done a little bit of everything for the Bruins. He's in his second year. Don Cherry said a year ago he sort of came out of the blue, had a good rookie season, and a better sophomore campaign.
A minute and 12 seconds left in the penalty. Lemaire over to Lapointe, working in against Milbury. Devers clearing it. Down the ice into Canadiens territory. And the Canadiens' power play in the first minute of the penalty has been very anemic. Credit to the Bruins, the way they're killing it off. Now it's at the Boston line. Puck is loose, the shot. Lafleur going to the other side. Here's Milbury taking over. And he clears it down into Canadiens territory. Over it goes to Lapointe at center, over to Lafleur trying to break through there. Devers away out of the net. And he's a very active, very alert goaltender. Helps his team very much by his maneuvering. Lapointe dropping it over on the other side. The Canadiens here look on the power play. Now there are 15 seconds left. Lafleur missed the pass into the corner. Brad Park failed to clear it out. Over it comes above the reject. Oh! Here's Gould. Getting it back to Savard. Fakes the shot to Cournoyer. Right in front. And it's batted away. The penalty has expired. Here's Lafleur. Lafleur still with it. Over the other side to Savard. Savard trying to work in front. A weak shot is wide into the corner. Here is Schmutz getting rid of it. Miller is chasing it. He would be offside if he touches it. There he is offside.
Well, again, a team that didn't do much in a power play had a few more chances after the penalty was over. There's the Bruins. Number 14, Bob Miller, who played hockey collegiately for the University of New Hampshire. He's a Massachusetts product. The Bruins got him up to Ottawa, played junior in the top Canadian OHA League for a while to get a little bit of that type of experience, and he made the team at training camp this year. He's not even listed on their, was not listed on their training camp roster or in their media guide, but he made the club.
The Bruins had a tough break this year with Foster losing him.
Now Brad Park with suffering a bit from what is termed a hazard of the trade. He was nicked.
No score in the first period, and the active Cheevers cleared it on the left side. Boston losing it, and Roberts shooting it in. One of the biggest sports celebrity dinners in all of Canada will be held in Belleville on May the 31st. Bobby Hull will be the host. They're going to have King Clancy and Sillaps and Don Cherry, and that great after-dinner speaker, Red Story. Of course, Red does pretty well before dinner, too. And talking about Belleville, Dave Kerr died the other day.
Yes. I didn't mention that then.
Did you mention it?
No, I was hoping to get a chance.
There's a long lead pass. Mondeau off the right wing board. Draped in on the board. By Doak. On the move. Bumping. Sharpnaw. Knocked to the ice. And that Wednesday number 18 is a rugged individual. You can see Sharpnaw bounce off in.
And we get the first rhubarb of the night. The Bruin players upset with that call. But it appears as though Boston, after having two straight power play chances, now will be killing the penalty for the second straight time. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Montreal Forum.
You're about to be welcomed to one of the best hotels in the world. The hotels with the best locations, near the things you need to be near. The hotels with the best system of standards for taking care of you. The hotels that take care of more travelers than anybody else. Holiday Inn welcomes you to some of the best hotels in the world.
2 minutes for boarding at 12 minutes, 6 seconds.
John Wensing of the Bruins has been sent off for boarding. He's not involved in that particular situation, but he is right here. Chartrand feels the brunt of the check, and Wensing is off for 2 minutes. The Canadiens with their second straight power play opportunity. Time of the penalty, 12:06 in this scoreless first period.
Robinson is now up front with Lafleur and Lambert, Lapointe and Savard. There's the shot. Loose puck in front of the net. They bang away at it, and they struggle for a possession. But the whistle goes.
Well, Chico, the goaltender in that one, seemed to be down and pretty well out of the play. He couldn't have done very much if somebody on the Canadiens had got his stick on that rebound.
No, both Rick Smith and Gary Doak did a good job there. They not only tied up 2 or 3 Montreal players, they also tied up the puck, and you can't ask for much more.
Well, it's rather essential that you have the puck.
It doesn't hurt.
Over on the far side, Schmott propelling it across the line. Here is Savard tipping it in. He gave it away, actually. Now Smith couldn't clear it out. Lafleur, Smith gets it again. And it's out and down the ice to the Canadiens line. Shepard forechecking. He's up front with Schmott for Boston. Lambert, Lafleur, Robinson, Lapointe, and Savard. 5 of them coming out into the center ice area across the line. Lambert pumped in on the boards by Park. Here's Lafleur trying to get it in front. Good defensive play by Rick Smith. Here's Smith again. He failed to clear it out. Lapointe takes his shot and it's fired down the ice. Canadiens with a couple of good scoring opportunities on that particular power play rush. Now Cournoyer taking over from Robinson. Cournoyer speeding up on the left side. Into the corner he goes. In there, he gets it. He centered it. No one there. They were in too deeply. Here come the Bruins. Schmott with Shepard. Shot by Schmott. The rebound. And Savard very coolly cleared it. Shepard is on it. Canadiens coming up with it. Lapointe over the other side to Cournoyer. Cournoyer getting to Lafleur. Lafleur trying to pass it back. Lapointe takes this shot. And it goes off Park over the glass.
Brad Park gets the credit on that one, Chico. Again, the defense coming to the rescue of Cheevers, who was out of position on the play after making the initial stop. Cournoyer and Lafleur do the combining on the play, but the big chance comes. Watch Park 22. The big chance comes here after Cheevers goes down, sitting down, and the shot is fired by Cournoyer, and it was deflected by Park.
Now it is Nyrop from the point, off the stick. Where is it? They look for it. Nyrop sees it, gives it to Cournoyer. Nyrop is tied up out on the right side. Marcotte clearing it back. Jonathan has it with 12 seconds left in the penalty. Milbury feeding it into Canadian territory. Exactly 6 minutes left in the opening period. Here's Steve's shot. An excellent move to get into the center ice area. Offside. That was nullified with an offside infraction.
Another Steve shot of the Montreal Canadiens, who was a 60-goal scorer the season before this past one, and this past year scored 49 goals. 109 regular season goals in the past 2 years for Steve Shutt. Chico, different tempo to this hockey game at this stage compared to Saturday night's opener.
Oh, no, I love the way that Boston is under control out there tonight. As comparison to the first game, they seem much tighter, but tonight they seem relaxed, and they just seem to be doing everything the right way, and it looks good if you're a Boston fan.
Now Cashman getting it out. Wensink is out of the penalty box. Robinson on the left side. In it goes off Nyrop's stick. Milbury out to Rattel on the right side to Cashman. He's down to the line. Cashman fired his shot. The rebound. And Wensink missed that one. Jarvis in on the board. Lejeune got clear of it. It's to the Boston line. The veteran Doak being watched carefully by Gainey up on the right side. Kept in by Jarvis. Now Cashman is checked at the line by Jarvis. Rattel has it to pass, and Wensink is offside on that left wing.
Live from the Montreal Forum, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
As nature designed the Tiger, swift, efficient, powerful, not an ounce of excess, so Chrysler designed its 78 outboards. From 4 horsepower through 140, including the new 85, 115, and 140 horsepower Chargers. They're among the most efficient beasts on the water. This year, go with the Tiger. Let a Chrysler turn you loose. Your Chrysler dealer is in the Yellow Pages.
The upcoming first intermission, meat and potatoes hockey. So get your knives and forks ready. Canadiens general manager Sam Pollock will be chatting with us, and Dan Kelly will be along with Chico with some highlights from this first period.
And in this first period, with 5 minutes and 7 seconds left, we are still looking for our first goal. Boston to the attack. Good body check by O'Reilly to keep the puck in on the Canadiens starting out. Rick Smith beating it back into Canadiens territory. There's O'Reilly going after LaPointe. Rattel on the other side. Réjean gets clear of it, and it's back into Boston territory. Now O'Reilly up on the left side. Middleton is across the line. The shot kicked out by Dryden. That was a quick, hard shot by number 16, Middleton. There he is again to the other side. Réjean just gets clear of it, and that's the second time the Canadiens got rid of the puck without trying to make a play. So that must tell you something about the way Boston is playing at this particular stage. Now, here's Lafleur going in. Lafleur is across the line. He got rid of it without looking, and Park has it for Boston up on the right side to O'Reilly. O'Reilly to McNabb. He dumped it into the corner. In there goes Savard, upended by Middleton. Lafleur gets it ahead, and it goes over the glass. 3:56 left in the opening period.
And you mentioned Dave Kerr. I'm sure old-time fans of both Canada and the United States will recall the name. He was goaltender for the New York Rangers the last time that team won the Stanley Cup back in 1940, won the Vezina Trophy that year. And Joe Blake told me not too long ago he thought Dave Kerr was perhaps the first exponent of goaltending cutting off the angles, moving out, challenging the shooter. He was a fine goaltender, passed away late last week.
Robinson ahead to shot. Here is shot with Lafleur moving up on the play. The Bruins break it up again in the center ice area. Now a lead pass for Schmutz. He's over the line, trying to get it out past Robinson. To the other side on the left side. Shot over for Lafleur. Bouncing into Boston territory, dropping it back. Here's Robinson trying to keep it in. Robinson into the corner to shot. Shot takes the look, out it goes to Lemaire. Oh! A scintillating save there by Cheevers. Point blank range, bullet drive by number 25, Lemaire. And Cheevers came up with the save of the series, I would think. We're going to get another look at that. Now it's back into the center ice area. Park's pass finally goes to Shepard. There's a shot. And the rebound to Savard. Canadiens out shooting Boston 8-7. There's a lead pass for Rysbrough. Rysbrough shooting it. And he was away wide. Canadiens getting a partial break there. Here's Cournoyer. Cournoyer over in front. Bondu couldn't deflect it into the open side of the net. Now here's Bondu. Into the corner to Rysbrough. Rysbrough getting it back, and it goes by Savard. And it's down the ice. The Canadiens getting some glorious scoring opportunities at this particular juncture in the game. Now Savard back into his own zone to Robinson. Robinson gets it to center. Pouncing on it was Rick Smith. Over it goes to Marcotte. He scooped it in. There's Cashman, number 12, going in. Robinson shot off the boards, goes to the Boston line. Long pass Park to Marcotte. Miller is upended. There's Cashman. He couldn't come up with it. Robinson tried a headman it to Rysbrough. Smith broke it up to Marcotte. Marcotte fired it against Savard. Could be offside. Here's some good scoring opportunities down there in the Boston zone for the Montreal Canadiens of late.
Boston has a lot going for them tonight. Of course, they got the lady by the name of Luck going for them, and they also have a hot goaltender, Jerry Cheevers. He made an excellent save there, and Dick was just talking about the goaltender coming out to cut off the angle. Now, and you'll see it here. Now, Jerry's back in the crease, but he sees the guy's right in the slot, and he moves out there and made just an excellent save, and like you say, probably the best save of the series, especially with the score tied 0-0 in a crucial game like tonight.
No goalie likes to see a player looking him squarely into the eyes, in particular if that player is Lemaire. He can shoot him. There's O'Reilly. O'Reilly making a neat move in the corner. He falls. LaPointe trying to get out. He can't. O'Reilly still with it. Rattel takes the shot. The rebound right in front of the net. A scramble. A penalty coming up. A wild pile-up. And the whistle finally goes. And there will be a holding penalty against the Montreal Canadiens. And Rattel was very, very dangerous there.
Well, we talked about the old man on the Canadiens the other night, Yvon Cournoyer, and I think Jean Rattel is just playing. I don't see how he can play any better. I watched the series against Philadelphia, and watch him here, how he takes his time. He doesn't panic. He kicks the puck back. He just handling the puck so well in traffic. And there it's still loose. And I couldn't tell what the penalty was. There were so many bodies flying. I'm sure it was probably a holding.
Bill Nyroth, 2 minutes for holding at 18 minutes, 46 seconds.
I would say that would be classified as a good penalty.
I would think so, because when he committed the infraction, he must have felt, Boston is going to score.
I know the feeling.
So Scotty Bowman has to be a bit worried here. Here's Park faking a pass. He takes the shot, and it went off Jarvis to stick to the corner. There's Shepard. Hemmed in on the boards by Gainey. The Bruins coming up with it. Rattel giving it to O'Reilly. To Jonathan. Rattel is getting in front. Back it goes to Shepard. Shepard into O'Reilly. O'Reilly trying to get into the slot. Over on the other side to Shepard. O'Reilly winds up for the shot. Couldn't get much on it. He was checked by Gainey. Savard trying to clear it out. And the Bruins have the Canadiens hemmed in on this power play until that second there. LaPointe shot it down the ice. Jonathan is going to get a penalty for roughing up LaPointe in the corner. 17 for the Boston Bruins. Jonathan.
Well, that happened behind the play, and I wasn't sure why Stan Jonathan would take a hit like that at this stage of the game, although here we'll see it on the replay. And actually, it's more or less a bump, and, well, he does get a stick up there a little bit. I think, again, it was a good call. Earlier, the two of them had been tussling in front of the goal, and that sometimes makes for bad feelings. And then when a person sees that he can take a good shot at the player who had just been giving him a tough time, he'll do it, and I think that was the case there.
There are just 29 seconds left in the opening period as we look at Jonathan in the penalty box for Boston. Here is a struggle. Jarvis and Rattel. There, a replay of his excellent scoring opportunity. A lot of phalanx of bodies in there. I've never seen so many bodies on the ice in front of a goalie. You probably have, because you're a goaltender.
A few times, yes.
So they are playing five aside. Lemaire will face off against Marcotte. We have Robinson and LaPointe back at the points. They are poised for shots should the face-off go back. In fact, Lemaire tried to get a shot on goal. He fanned on it. And here's Brad Park. His pass is knocked down by Lafleur. Lafleur into Lemaire. Lemaire over, and it goes in behind Robinson. Here's Lafleur in for Robinson. Robinson behind the net, trying to swing it in front. It goes to the left side. Boston taking over with Schmotz into the center ice area. Here's Marcotte back to Schmotz. Just 2 seconds, and that's going to be the period. Schmotz and LaPointe went in there rather vigorously in the corner. And they're having some words down there to the right of the Canadiens' goal. So, playing five aside, the period ends. No scoring to report. The shots on goal. Montreal Canadiens 8 and the Boston Bruins 8. Each team had a couple of scoring opportunities.
Yes, I would say a real ego builder for Boston.
And so the score at the end of the first period, Boston nothing, Montreal nothing.
Hold it, it's on my foot.
Okay, lift it up. You put it on your foot.
Cute.
Marty, I bet you're really handy around the house. Will we ever get this thing in? Come on. Okay. Let's get a little muscle into it.
Wait, I got it. This is going to give me the strength of 3 men here.
Okay, 1, 2. Did you bring your beer down? Yeah, I'm going to tell you where it is as soon as we get the raft of the water.
Exactly.
Come on. 1, 2, up. Okay, give it a push. Go on in the middle.
First chance every summer, Marty and the boys get the old raft back in the water and treat themselves to a little Molson Export Ale.
We got the beer and you got no paddle. We're going up to the cottage. Stay with Ship. See you, Marty.
Molson Export Ale. It keeps on tasting great.
Hey there with that booming shot.
Grow with us.
Hey there making that big stop. Grow with us.
Scotiabank Hockey College, where kids get playing tips and news from the experts and learn the good things about saving right now. No membership fee. Just open a high-interest Scotiabank Hockey College savings account. Hockey College, only at Scotiabank.
Come to Scotiabank and grow with us. Grow with us. Grow with us. Grow with us.
No score at the end of one period. The Canadiens and the Bruins in a much more competitive hockey game than was the case on Saturday night in the series opener. Certainly a much more vigorous type of game. The shots on goal even, Stephen, 8 apiece. Some good scoring chances. 6 minor penalties called by referee Dave Newell, 3 to each team. So a scoreless first period here in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals at the Montreal Forum. The Boston Bruins play a style of hockey that's been described as about as exciting as a dish of meat and potatoes, but they emphasize hard work and fun, as Don Cherry explains.
All I ask the team is try to do your best. There's some nights they don't do their best, but as long as they try, that's all I ask. It's honest hockey. A guy gets 2 shifts. If I see he wants to float, then he doesn't play. And if I see he has 2 games in a row, we get rid of him. We play a system. I think it's a good system in that you take Dennis O'Brien. He came here. He couldn't make Cleveland. He couldn't make Colorado. And he comes here. He takes a regular shift on a first-place club that's just behind Montreal. I took him aside in 5 minutes, told him what we wanted, and here's a guy that does his best.
I sat down with him 5 minutes one night, and he explained the system to me on a little napkin, and he told me to do exactly what he said, and he said I could be here for a long time. And basically, it's just simple hockey, and it's good hockey. It's hard-nosed hockey, and I've never played hockey where I've had so much fun. The coach is just tremendous. He makes you have fun, and if you can win and have fun, everybody's happy.
We're not a finesse hockey team as such, but we do work very hard, and we try to incorporate a team style, which has been successful for us. We have a lot of depth, and we have some real strong wingers, and they seem to be the key to our team.
The Bruin wingers are a rugged, abrasive group, and they do seem to dominate play along the boards.
I hate to use the word intimidate. We have a big, tough club. If a team tries to come out and try to hit us, I just love it. But we don't go out and run around and cream guys and looking for fights all the time. I think that's the difference.
Though the Bruin system is simple and easily scouted, they still break out of their own end effectively.
We put it around the boards. Everybody knows our play. If the wingers want to stay in and the defense wants to stay in, and they pay the price. So we get it out. They're all set up for it, but we still win with it. Once in a while, we throw them off coming up the middle, but I make no secret about it. Yeah, we come up the boards all the time, and it's successful.
Just as simple is their forechecking strategy.
The forechecking pattern is just the first 2 men, whoever they are in, and the third man hangs back in the slot. If it's the centerman and the right winger, or the first 2 people in, well, then the left winger will take up the slot. If it's the 2 wingers get in first, the centerman takes up slot or whatever.
We're one of the best forechecking teams in the league. We always have 300 goals. We never have 40-goal scores. The big thing is the wingers pay the price there.
The wingers also produce. In fact, Terry O'Reilly, one of the league's premier grinders, also led the team in scoring. But with players like sharpshooting Peter McNabb, Greg Shepard, and the classy Jean Rattel, the Bruins are also strong up the middle.
Our centermen are, I hate to say it, the brains of the team. And they feed the wingers. They're in the slot waiting. We do not have rough centermen.
When the Bruins last won a Stanley Cup, they were led by 2 superstars, Bobby Orr and Phil Esposito. However, many feel much of their present-day success came as the result of the controversial trade that sent Esposito to the New York Rangers.
Bobby Orr was out of the lineup, and I've always believed in the concept that a team needs a very strong offensive defenseman around which to build its attack. And with Orr not playing and Park available, I thought we had to make that move to remain a contender in this league, and that really was the basis for that trade. Our coach builds his team around big, tough wingers, and we always look for them. Once we had Park, I felt we had the main ingredient on defense. And it was from that point on that we felt we should, you know, look for the good, solid forwards.
Though Cherry expects his players to adhere to the system, Park is allowed some leeway.
If you have a guy like that, you start telling him too much regimented, then you're in trouble. So he's sort of got his head. I let him have his head. There's no defenseman in the league as good as him right now. I've said this before. I love Lapointe. I love Savard. I love Robinson. But they all play together. We've had rookies play with Brad. Also, I've told him I want him to stay back. I don't want him to get points. And I think that him doing what I want him to do is cost him the Norris Trophy, but we're in first place.
A few years ago when we last won the Cups, it's no secret our team was basically built around Bobby and Phil, and even though we had a good supporting cast, I mean, I don't think we could have won if we didn't have those two guys. There's no doubt about it. I think they could have made any team in the National League win. But this year we have much more balance, I think, and it's a hard-working team. We forecheck like mad nowadays. I think you'll find all the teams that have done well in the playoffs are hard-hitting, good forechecking teams.
Everybody's honest, and everybody tries, and they do their best, and that's all you can ask for in a hockey team. But the main thing they have is they have a lot of fun. Like I was saying earlier, Canadians are the best team, but we're the best team in regards to fun.
Well, some call it meat and potatoes hockey, all that fun, and it certainly is the right diet for the Bruins. They've done a fine job the past few seasons, and right now they are tied with the Montreal Canadiens. There is no score. The Bruins nothing, the Canadiens nothing after one period here at the Montreal Forum. Stanley Cup 78 continues in just a moment.
With music like this, you get huge sound pressure, and if your hi-fi system can't take it, you get breakout. So switch to the new Dynaharmony by Hitachi. Dynaharmony is really two amplifiers in one, with a unique reserve circuit that gives you 100% more power when you need it, like now. Dynaharmony by Hitachi, 100% more power when you need it. Dynaharmony is at your nearest Hitachi dealer.
Al, will you explain the Lotto Canada package to Sam?
Simple, Sam. Listen, you can win up to $5,000 if your number matches one of those chosen in the Mother's Day draw. Sam, you're not listening. Or you can win $1 million June 9th, or you can win right now. Instant money up to, look at that, $500. You want to play it again, Sam? You get 3 chances to win with one Lotto Canada package. Now, that's my kind of lottery.
That's my kind of lottery.
Make it yours.
Very pleased to be chatting with Sam Pollock, the Vice President and General Manager of the Montreal Canadiens, and it's our first opportunity on the show, Sam, to publicly congratulate you on your election to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Someone once told me that you don't really realize what it means until it happens to you. How did you feel?
Well, it came as a tremendous surprise to me. I received a call from Mr. Clarence Campbell about 15 minutes before it was announced publicly, and I didn't say anything for 3 or 4 hours because I thought maybe that he had said, well, they're considering you or something like that. And then somebody finally said, gee, it was nice that you got elected to the Hall of Fame. And I said, yeah, sort of. And it came as a real, certainly a tremendous honor. And, you know, I feel greatly indebted to an awful lot of people, you know, who have helped me through my career and who have worked with me through my career day.
You've had so many highlights, Sam. I know it's very difficult to pick out 1, 2, or 3, but can you think of a couple?
Well, I guess when I first came here back in officially, really, in 1947, being associated with people like Frank Selke Sr. and your dad, and then, you know, later on with Toe Blake and Kenny Reardon and all of the other people since then, like Scotty and Claude and Al McNeil. It's just been a wonderful experience in the 30 years I've been here.
Sam, you've seen the hockey players come and go, and in this day and age, hockey players, I feel, sometimes get unfair raps in the media. What about, is it a new breed today as compared to, say,
first of all, they're a very sound hockey club. They've got good goaltending, great goaltending, with depth, with Cheever.
Well, I don't know, Dick. Maybe it's me, but I don't see really any change today than I did when I was here 30 years ago. Every player that I've been associated with here with Canadians has always had, you know, one goal, and that was to do the best he could in every game he played. And I've seen a lot of players over the last 30 years, and I'd rate today's players with any players, and I'd rate yesterday's players than any players.
What about today's team?
Well, it's awfully hard to make comparisons. I think a great player or a great team would have been great in any era. I've always said this. I don't think you can make comparisons, and you know, I think that any team that wins a championship or any player that wins an award has really done something to achieve that.
You've won the championship, Sam, now the last few years, and of course you hear people say the Canadians are too strong, they should change the drafting laws, etc., etc. What is your reaction when you hear comments like that?
Well, Dick, one thing that really bothers me, and you must appreciate and probably accept maybe I'm biased or I look at it a different way, but you never hear this in baseball, you never hear it in football, you never hear it in basketball or any other sport. I don't know why it seems to be unique to hockey. Obviously, you know, from our side of the fence, we try, like everybody else does in the league, to assemble the best team that we can, and we've been successful the last few years. But before we won the Cup, Philadelphia won it 2 years, and I don't know. Sometimes it baffles me.
You feel that they're trying to penalize you for success, and it weren't really.
Well, I don't really know what it is. I try not to pay attention to it.
Sam, the future, I know we really can't look at it too much, but there is one point that's received a fair amount of publicity. Mark Napier, who was your top draft choice a year ago, was around during the Toronto series at the practice and so on. What are the logistics involved with the possibility that Napier might join the Canadiens?
Well, he's still under contract to his present club, and that contract runs out during the summer months, and we would very much like to have him join our club, and we'll talk to him, you know, as soon as his contract does run out. He's a fine hockey player, and obviously we thought that when we drafted him, and we're very interested in sitting down and talking to him when we can do it legally.
Well, Sam, thank you very much for chatting with us, and again, on behalf of all of us on the show, sincere congratulations on your well-deserved nomination of the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Thanks, I appreciate that, Dick.
Sam Pollock, the General Manager and Vice President of the Montreal Canadiens. Stanley Cup 78 continues in just a moment.
How long do you want your car to last?
1,000,000 miles. She's already done 89,000, and the only thing I've ever done to the engine is tune it up. Of course, I check it regularly, and the only motor oil I've ever used in my car is Quaker State.
Quaker State can't promise everyone the kind of mileage Julian Fry gets, but Quaker State helps cars last, and that's a fact.
I guess that's why Quaker State's the best-selling motor oil in North America.
It's a shame how heat can make something ugly. So what's a poor devil to do? Remember this. Trim-clad, heat-resistant enamel can make most anything beautiful again. Trim-clad does it devilishly well.
Dan Kelly with New York Islander goaltender Chico Resch up in the broadcast booth. It's the Bruins nothing and the Canadiens nothing. Chico, I thought the Bruins played their best period of hockey thus far in the series.
I think that was a real ego-builder period for Boston. They looked much more confident, and like I've always said, to beat the Canadiens, you have to be at least as confident as they are, and I think Boston gained a lot of confidence from that period.
We don't have any goals to show, but we had some great goaltending at both ends. Let's have a look at a couple of the highlights of the opening period right now.
Okay, here's the first highlight. Larry Robinson jumping out of the penalty box, throws it up to Lemaire, and he drops the puck. And a nice defensive play by Peter McNabb coming back. And that pass across was dangerous, except it just hit Cashman's skate, and then Poole hooks Milbury, and he's frustrated because it was a good penalty called by the referee. And here's a good play by Kenny, and with a lot of help from his defenseman. I think this could be another penalty here. It's shot back to the point. Shot from the point here. Another good chance. Boston had a couple good periods there where they had a lot of good chances in front. Here's Stan Jonathan with a shot. A good save by Kenny, his best save of the night. And again, it's nice to see that Montreal's human and they can get this organized and get running around. Here again is Bob Gainey throwing the puck over to Cornway. He goes down on the defenseman, slips it through to Lafleur, and Jerry Cheevers makes a great play there. See how he uses his stick? And although he's caught out of position, sometimes you have to get out of position to make that initial stop. And Brad Park came and made a good defensive play to deflect it over the glass.
So Park really making a key play and helping out the fallen goaltender Cheevers.
Well, you know, we have to help each other, and there was a good example of the goalie and the defenseman working together. Here's the best save of the night. Jerry Cheevers comes out of the net, cuts the angle, and not only does that, but makes a great glove save. And like I say, that's great confidence for him and for the team.
That's Chico Resch, the guest analyst tonight, and our highlights of the first period. It's still Montreal nothing and the Boston Bruins nothing. Live from the Forum in Montreal, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Ford Fiesta, with the secure feeling of control that's important in a small car. Fiesta, 0 to 80 kilometers in an average of 8.8 seconds. Road-gripping Michelin radial tires. The traction of front-wheel drive. And excellent gasoline economy. Fiesta, imported from Germany by Ford. Test drive Fiesta at your Ford or Mercury dealer today.
What's a guy like me doing ironing shirts? It's not so hard. I got a GE self-cleaning iron that uses most tap water and flushes itself to help stop brown spotting. And a self-cleaning valve to help prevent clogging. Not bad, eh? Listen, if my wife can paint a wall, I can iron a few shirts.
Yeah, whenever the walls need painting.
The self-clean, too. Cleans itself to last twice as long as ever before.
Darling.
From Canadian General Electric.
Play underway in the second period. There's no score in the hockey game. The teams are playing five-a-side. Here's Middleton getting set. Loose puck in front of the net. And it's cleared away in the nick of time by Robinson. And the Bruins in the first half minute of this second period have had a couple of excellent scoring opportunities. Nyrop with 5 seconds left in his penalty. Rick Smith is upended to the center ice area. Here's Middleton going in. And Dryden covers up. Now then, Nyrop is out of the penalty box, and Jonathan has 42 seconds left in his penalty. The shots on goal, 8 apiece in that first period.
There's a play that upset the Bruins. Steve Shutt, he sort of put the hands up and said, not me. And then there's another play that might have upset Serge Savard as he almost coughed up the puck to Rick Middleton of the Bruins. The Boston team, obviously, hustling a lot better tonight and doing what they said they'd do in the first game and didn't quite make it, staying on top of the Canadiens, especially inside the Montreal zone.
Fundamentally, they are pressing the Canadiens in the Montreal zone, and they are inveigling the Canadiens into mistakes by getting clear of the puck before they really want to. Now Montreal was shut in over the line. He's bumped by Marcotte, who cleared it back into Canadiens territory. There are 22 seconds left in the penalty to Jonathan. Montreal on the power play with Robinson, Lafleur, Lemaire, Shutt, and Lapointe. Here's Big Robinson speeding in. Robinson around the net. He takes a look. What is he going to do with it? He still has it. Takes another look. Over to Lapointe. Lapointe turning. Now in front it goes. Here's Lemaire, backhand shot, and shot hit beside the net. Penalty has expired. Over to Lemaire. He takes the shot from a sharp angle, and it was blocked by Cheevers. Here come the Bruins, led by Jonathan. A weak shot. Lafleur turning in his own line. Into the center ice area. There's the pass off a leg, bouncing into the corner. And that is Brad Park in there for the Bruins. He fanned the first time, got it to Milbury. Out it comes at the line. Jonathan speeding down, hits the Montreal line. Gives it to Schmott. Schmott's turning. Pass into the corner for Cashman. He missed it. And Cournoyer put it onto Smith's stick inadvertently. And then it was lost to Lapointe over to Lambert. Cournoyer couldn't come up with it. Cashman had to stick handle a maneuver by Newell, the referee. There's Nyrop clearing it to the side. Doak knocked it back in there, and again the Bruins are hemming in the Canadiens. Here's Cashman. Cashman has to contend with Mondeau. They fight for it. Back it comes, and Lambert has it. Lambert into the center ice area. Couldn't get anywhere. It's picked up by Nyrop. He fired it in. Captain Cournoyer goes in. Lambert picking up a loose puck, centered it, and it's gobbled up by Smith. Over to Schmutz. He has Wensick with him. Long shot. In goes Cashman. Cashman playing it into the corner. Now then, Nyrop takes a look. His pass went off Winston's skate. Savard gets it into the center ice area. Smith rolling it ahead. Savard got it out. Winsick scoots in on that right side. Stopped by Nyrop. Here's Mondu. Feeding it over to the far side. Montreal having difficulty getting an offensive effort organized. The Bruins were on top of them. Cashman is after Ray-Jean Oul. Now it's out over the line and down into Boston territory. Teams are making changes while the play goes on. We near the 4th minute mark into the 2nd period. Here's Big McNabb. Takes the backhand shot, and that gave Dryden difficulty in the crease area.
From the Forum in Montreal, this is Stanley Cup 78.
We're sure you will never forget the time you have Brador, because everything you've heard about Brador is true. You may find some at your brewer's retail now.
Face off to the left of Dryden. Brad Park and Milbury, the defensemen, are well in over the Canadiens' line. Jarvis against McNabb. Now it's back to Park. Park at the point. In it goes to O'Reilly. O'Reilly getting it back to Brad Park. There's the shot. He scores!
Well, you heard Harry Sinden during the feature in the intermission talking about the offensive defenseman he wanted when he got Brad Park from the New York Rangers. It's his 2nd goal of this series. In fact, it's the 2nd goal that the Boston team has scored in this series, Chico Resch. Both of them by Park. I'm sure he got it. I don't think it was deflected.
No, the thing to look for here is if we get a different angle. I think what Kenny anticipated there was the man in front, Wensick, deflecting the puck. And when he missed the puck, I think it caught Kenny a little bit by surprise, and it ended up in the corner of the net. As Kenny looked a little bit upset after the goal, so I think he just kind of misplayed it.
Saying, Chico, a goaltender should not be anticipatory.
No, but remember, we're human, and you know, that happens.
1-0 for Boston. Now here's Lemaire into the center ice area, goes to the left wing. In over the Boston line, draped into the boards by Milbury. Park firing it. It's into the center ice area. LaPointe over on the far side to Nyrop, hitting the Boston line, in over the line, and loses it to Shepard. The Bruins leading the Canadiens 1-0. Into the corner, Milbury is being trailed by Lemaire. Lafleur looks on, gets in front of the net. Schutt trying to pick it up, and Marcotte is going to give it to Park. Park gets clear of it. Now you see Boston's style changing right away a bit, Chico.
Well, I hope they don't try and sit on it. It appeared there where they just iced it for no reason.
Well, that's twice Park got clear of it without looking.
That's true, that's true.
Phil Nyrop, the American on the Canadiens from Notre Dame University. And we're going to take a look here at Park letting the shot go. And Chico, when you look at Park, he was feeding it through, really. He took a good look and he just eased that shot. He didn't drill it.
No, that's right. He anticipated a deflection. Wensick anticipated a deflection. Savard, who was on Wensick, anticipated a deflection. And unfortunately, so did Kent anticipate a deflection, and it never came, and it caught the far corner.
Boston 1, Montreal no score. 3 seconds away from the 5th minute mark into the 2nd period. It will be Lemaire against Shepard. Canadiens with Robinson and Savard playing up, and the Bruins getting it out. Marcotte with the long shot. Robinson takes a look over his shoulder at Middleton, gets it up to the point. There's a shot! And Dryden had to come up with a big save from the point by Rick Smith. Here's Robinson into Boston territory. Robinson dropping it over for Savard. Here's Savard. Takes a look, tries to jam it in from the side. Blocked by Cheevers. Here's Savard to Robinson. Robinson getting it into Lemaire. He tried to fire it in front, and it was blocked. O'Brien out there, he blocked it. There's the shot, the rebound, and Schutt missed it. Canadiens with pressure on. Marcotte bodies Robinson. Canadians, Lafleur couldn't hold it in, waiting for his teammates to take Hodgson territory. The Bruins taking over with Shepard, twisting and turning to center. It goes to Marcotte. He fired it. No difficulty. There's another shot. That would have missed the net. It went off Dryden and over the glass.
Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Montreal Forum.
The overcoat. Canadians have long known its true meaning. Protection, durability, value. And for our homes, we need Olympic overcoat. Overcoat, specially formulated to cover old paint. Easy to apply and long-lasting. Olympic guarantees it. Give your home the beauty and protection of Olympic, the great Canadian overcoat.
CBC covers the Commonwealth Games August 3rd to August 12th.
Face-off in Canadian territory. The statistics show the Bruins with a wide margin in this second period, out-shooting Montreal 6-0, outscoring them 1-0. Now Cashman trying to get clear, losing it to Régin Houle. Out it comes on an open left wing. Don't firing it. It goes to the Canadiens bench.
Danny, those statistics just prove the difference in the Bruins here tonight. In the second period of the first game Saturday, they had a total of 2 shots in the 20 minutes of play. Here's Guy Lafleur at the end of the Canadiens bench. We'll have a special feature on Lafleur during the second intermission. He's been held pretty well in check tonight, mainly by Don Marcotte.
Lapointe clearing it ahead. Could be icing as the Bruins touch it. They didn't. Gainey got there. That could be a big play for Montreal. Now it's back to the point. The point taking a shot off the leg. Into the corner. Régin Houle. Jarvis has given a solid jolt by Milbury. They struggle for it along with Littell and Houle. And the face-off in Bruins territory.
Now another American-born player in the Stanley Cup Finals, Mike Milbury, played collegiately at Colgate University, native of Brighton, Massachusetts, in his second full season. And he sort of came of age as a hockey player for Team USA in the Canada Cup Series in the fall of 1976. He's been a regular with the Bruins ever since.
Jerry Cheevers was telling me, and he should know, he said that Mike Milbury has improved 50% over last year. He's made the most improvement. There you see Scotty Bowman, and think he looks worried?
You can almost hear the voice of Scotty Bowman over the voice of Chico Resch right there. There's something's got Scotty upset. I think possibly the way that a line change. You see, if you can read correctly, I think he's saying they changed twice. Now he says, no, they didn't. That's what upsets him. He says the Bruins changed twice. He's been assured they changed twice. No luck.
Rick Smith clearing it off the boards. Lafleur gets the puck to the other side. Marcotte rolled it down to the Canadiens line, and Savard hands it off to Robinson. 1-0 for Boston. Here's Cournoyer speeding in. He centered it. It went by shot, and Lafleur, Robinson shooting it. His puck is down to the right. He scores!
Prime Minister of Canada, the Right Honorable Pierre Elliott Trudeau, joining in the ovation for Steve Shutt's goal that ties this game. Chico, I guess if there's a player in the National Hockey League who can score goals this way, with that second effort on a play where you think he's right out of it, has to be Steve Shutt.
I would pick him number 1. Jerry Cheevers makes a good play here. You'll see he gets a big part of the puck, but not quite enough, and nobody there to help him, and Steve Shutt had the whole net and shot it in. Good effort by Steve, though.
That's his 8th goal of the playoffs, and second in this series, and 1-1. That's only the second shot the Canadians have had in the period. And they've tied the game.
Canadians goal scored by number 22, Steve Shutt. Assist number 19.
Close-up look at Cheevers on the play.
And number 12, Yvonne Cournoyer.
Jerry's forced to make that play. With a man who can handle a puck like Steve Shutt, you've almost got to attempt to use your stick.
The game tied at a goal. Now here's Lambert over the line. Cournoyer getting it down, but he failed to negotiate contact to direct it by Cheevers. That was a hard, fast pass. And Cournoyer, who has great speed, was really moving. Now right in front of the net, it goes to Lambert. He scores! Now it's along the boards. Back it comes to the Canadian zone. At the line, Robinson firing it up for Lambert. Park shoots it down into the center ice area. Cournoyer to Lambert with Risebrough. Good defensive play by Brad Park. Now Savard. Up ahead, he missed Lambert. Down the ice it goes. Brad Park after it. Here's Milbury working from the corner out. It goes to O'Reilly. O'Reilly's pass stopped, then Jonathan tipped it ahead. Robinson ahead. Risebrough shooting it into the corner. Cheevers missed it, took a look at Shutt coming in. Here's Shutt shooting it, and he wrapped it off Brad Park's leg. He has a very heavy, hard shot, number 22 for the Canadiens. Steve Shutt. Now it's down the ice. Doak is after it. It's icing against Montreal.
This is Stanley Cup 78 from the Forum in Montreal.
Take me away, lover. I'm yours. I don't go with married women. What are you doing in our Granada? Granada? This is my Mercedes. Hold tight. Pin hands to my Cadillac.
Cadillac, that's the Granada.
Alone at last, beloved.
Beloved?
Where's my bride?
She got that Mercedes with another man.
Another man?
The new Ford Granada looks like Cadillac and Mercedes, but at a lower Granada price. When North America needs a better idea, Ford puts it on wheels.
After tonight's game, the scene switches to the Boston Garden for Game 3, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, our broadcast time, Thursday from Boston.
And now, the Boston defense over the line. O'Brien out for the second time in this period. LaPointe clearing it out, going after it is Lemaire. LaFleur coming up. Lemaire, good defensive play by Doak. There were two Canadians in front of Cheevers, and Lemaire was getting set to pass it over, and Doak came up with that fine sliding defensive play. Long shot. No trouble for Dryden. Here's Lemaire in over the line, swings away from O'Brien, gives it to Lafleur. Lafleur's pass off the stick of O'Reilly. Lafleur to Gainey. Gainey bouncing in on that left side. Stopped by Doak, and Doak again playing a fine game for the Boston Bruins. Now into the center ice area. O'Reilly couldn't get anywhere. Here's Jarvis picking his way in on the left side. Tries to center it. Lafleur into the corner, back to LaPointe, getting set, he shoots, and it's blocked by O'Brien. Now O'Reilly clearing it up to the line. Cashman had to go back in near the corner. Cashman getting it to McNabb, back to Cashman in the center ice area to the Canadiens line. Jammed out of the play by Chartrand is Cashman. Here's O'Reilly, over to Park. Park is getting set, fired it. Canadian Chartrand lugging it into the center ice area. Chartrand stumbles and falls in the center ice area. Now Robinson ahead to Savard. Here's Savard taking a look. In it goes to Risebrough. Over to Lambert. Lambert getting it to Chartrand, and he fired it wide to the open side. A glorious scoring opportunity for Montreal there with Chartrand set up by Lambert. But Chartrand had the velocity but not the accuracy. Now it's back into the Canadian zone. Robinson hitting Risebrough with it to Lambert. He lost it. Cashman playing it back in for Smuts. Less than 10 minutes to go in the second period. 9.5 minutes to be exact. It's tied at a goal. Smuts jostling with Savard. Now the puck is onto the stick of Milbury. He hits the Montreal line. Savard takes over, failed to clear it out. Now Robinson headmanning it. Canadians starting out. In over the line, Risebrough with Cournoyer going to that goal! And Cheevers comes up with an enormous effort, getting his stick out there onto the stick of Cournoyer. Into the center ice area, head fake by Smuts. He fired it wide. Here's Mondeau ahead to Lambert into the center ice area. Pass broken up. Cournoyer goes after it. Cournoyer up on the left side. That wing had been vacated by Lambert, who goes to the Canadiens bench. In fact, the teams, both of them changing while the play goes on. There's Miller bouncing into the corner after Nairop. Nairop taking it on his skate. Lays it off the board. Down the ice it goes. Cheevers. Playing it to the far side. An excellent action here in this second period. Middleton at center has Marcotte with him. Pass is broken up, picked up. Smith takes a shot. Nyrop got his stick on it. Here's Cournoyer at center in on the Boston line. He left it behind. He was watching the intended check. Marcotte to Middleton. Middleton across the line. The pass to Marcotte into the corner. He centered it right in front. Off the board. Jean-Oul, a couple of players down in front of Dryden. Oul dumping it into the corner. Now goes to Lemaire. He goes to the far side using the defenseman as a screen. And he wasn't wide by too much on that far side. Now Marcotte over to Middleton. Middleton at the line. In it goes to Marcotte. He tried to dump it in front. Robinson belted Marcotte. Penalty coming up against Robinson of Montreal. He is having words with Milbury, but it was Marcotte who went to the ice.
And that brings a halt to some great action. With the score, Boston 1, Montreal 1. This is Stanley Cup 78.
Mr. and Mrs. Mickey Slocum.
Hey, next time you're having the gang over for a get-together, it's time to break out the Molson Pleasure Pack. 12 export ale, 12 Canadian lager. Your guests expect good beer, and you've got it in one convenient, economical case. You can't go wrong. Remember Molson Pleasure Pack.
Hot enough for you, lady?
12X, 12 Canadian. Our get-together for your get-together.
Mr. and Mrs. Chick Fraser.
Robinson, 2 minutes for boarding at 12 minutes, 39 seconds.
The tail end of the announcement tells you why Larry Robinson has been penalized. You can see it as well. Boarding is the call, and Robinson, as Steve Shutt on the Canadiens bench adjusts his skates. Dennis O'Brien was shaken up very badly here a few moments ago when he blocked a shot from Guy Lapointe, and he's gone to the Boston dressing room, while also at the Boston bench I see that Rick Middleton is being attended to by the trainer. Well, Larry Robinson's in the penalty box. 1-1 the score. Some terrific action. Chico end-to-end, and Lou Nanny standing back here with us. I'll be chatting with Lou in the intermission. He said that the Bruins are opening up a bit more than expected, perhaps.
Yes, Don Cherry said before the game, he said, I don't care what happens, we're not going to open up tonight. We're going to try and play it close, but what happens so often is Montreal sort of forces you to open up without really realizing it, and that's kind of what's happened.
And the face-off to take place to the left of Dryden. The Bruins with the advantage. Here is Shepard clearing it back to Park. Park laying it into the corner to Shepard. Cashman is right in front of the net. It goes to O'Reilly. O'Reilly spins around and fired it wide. Savard jamming his man out of the play. Shepard. Here is Cashman. Cashman is very nifty. He takes it in behind the net, goes to the far side. He drops it to O'Reilly. Shepard is right in front, and the Bruins lose it. With Jarvis shooting it down the ice. On the power play, the Bruins have Smots, O'Reilly, Cashman, Shepard, and Park. The Canadiens are defending with Gainey, Jarvis, Nyrop, and Lapointe. In the penalty, 1 minute and 12 seconds left, and here come the Bruins on the left wing. It's Cashman. He's in over the line. Lost it. Gainey shooting it back down the ice. Now Scotty Bowman making a change or two. So is Cherry. Rattel is on the ice. Ahead it goes. And it's flipped up by Lapointe once again. Here's Lemaire getting a break, going in a goal! He fired it high. Beavers coming away out. Lemaire had to try to control that puck, Chico.
That was a calculated, I would say, a good percentage move on Jerry's part.
There we look at the Prime Minister of Canada, Pierre-Elliott Trudeau. To his left, Senator Jean-Pierre Cote. Mr. Trudeau hasn't been at a game, Danny, at the Forum, I don't think, since the clincher for Team Canada over Czechoslovakia in 1976, September 76. Look at it here, Chico. Get back to that Lemaire play. The puck seemed to be bouncing a bit on him.
That's right. You see him winding up here. Jerry has really no alternative but to come out. And with the help from Smots there, I think there wasn't much else Lemaire could do but shoot the puck.
Well, he's gone to get a new stick at the Canadiens bench. 47 seconds remaining in the penalty to Larry Robinson. And this one has certainly settled in. It's 1-1, 6:08 remaining in this second period.
37 seconds left in the penalty to Robinson. DeVers shooting it in. McNabb dropping it back. Up on the right side, it goes to O'Reilly. Jonathan is on the left side. O'Reilly pumping with Réjean. They both went down. Now the Canadiens starting out. Lapointe with Lemaire. Lemaire dumped it ahead. Lapointe was upended by Rick Smith. And that again brought a reaction from the Canadian supporters. There's Brad Park getting it out to Rick Smith. Over it goes to O'Reilly. Good move by O'Reilly. O'Reilly getting it in front. Jonathan shoots 2 seconds from the net. They bang away on that. And it's kept out. It's still 1-1. A 3-4 chance for Boston.
Best chance they've had on the power play. Chico, one thing about the Bruins tonight, they've done a great job defensively. Obviously, the Canadiens have had just 12 shots. And they've played almost 35 minutes. Here's that last chance for Boston.
Good save by Kenny. A rebound here, and he covers up well with those 7-foot legs of his. And what set that play up was a real nifty move by Terry O'Reilly. And, you know, there's a lot of stories about players improving over the years, but Terry O'Reilly is my favorite player when I talk to young players that, you know, maybe don't handle the puck that well to begin with. But Terry O'Reilly, some of the moves he's made this year have been incredible. They've been Guy Lafleur type moves. And
he's your favorite player when you're not playing Boston Bruins.
Yes, well, I don't play Boston, so I can say that.
Back it goes. Over on this side to Milbury. Gives it to O'Reilly. He tried to put it into the slot, and it went off Katie. Robinson is out of the penalty box. However, that could have been a time, perhaps, when O'Reilly should have taken the shot.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you, but on that play, I thought Jonathan was in the slot there, and it was a good play, I thought. But we'll talk about that later.
It hit a leg.
That's true.
Try to get along, boys. We'll take a break. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Montreal Forum.
This European design radial is the one with the big reputation. It promises outstanding mileage. It gives you great traction and good skid resistance. And if you want handling, this European design radial has got it cornered. Now, this kind of quality makes it one of the most expensive tires you can buy.
BF Goodrich Lifesaver radials are just as good, but they can cost you less.
Looking ahead to the second intermission, a special featurette on Guy Lafleur. Lou Nanny talking about coaching in the playoffs. Dan Kelly and Chico Resch with the highlights.
Play is on from the Boston line. It's cleared in. Milbury shooting it down. Oh, Miller was bumped solidly by Nyrod. Shot feeding it to Robinson with Lafleur. Lafleur dashing into Boston territory. Look at the speed of that fellow. Into the corner. He's tied up. Gets it back. Here's Shutt shooting it. On the side of the net. Cournoyer circling over in front. And it goes by O'Brien and Lafleur. O'Brien. Middleton handing it off to Miller, straight up the ice, in over the line. Here's Miller putting on the brakes, and the Canadiens, Lafleur, out with Cournoyer and Shutt. Shutt over the line. Cournoyer going in for the loose puck. He centered it. Marcotte has it. And let's see, a couple of penalties here. Cournoyer and Milbury. Are they both going off? That was out of the play. I think both are going off.
I could read the arm signals of referee Newell correctly. I believe they are. Live from the Forum in Montreal, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Hey there, dreaming of the sun.
Row with us. Hey there, looking for some fun. Row with us. Making sure the grass is green.
Checking out the listening scene.
Come on, everybody, grow with us.
Scotiabank. It's the place to save for the things you want now. A month from now. A year from now.
Come to Scotiabank and grow with us. Grow with us. Grow with us. Grow with us.
I'm Dick Irvin along with Danny Gallivan and Chico Resch in the broadcast booth at the Montreal Forum. Dan Kelly and Lou Nanny on the broadcast as well. Penalties to Milbury and Cournoyer on that last play. The teams will play 5 aside.
2 minutes for slashing.
And there's the official announcement of the penalty.
6 seconds.
The score is tied at a goal. Boston opened the scoring in this period. The Canadiens tied it up. Now Rattel shooting it. Couldn't get a good shot away. Canadiens were a bit lax in their own zone. The Bruins have looked very sharp in this hockey game tonight. There's Lemaire getting it over. A pass back to Nyrop in full flight over the line. He was put with Nyrop, and he's from there! And he was in there too close, but he couldn't pick it up. An excellent offensive effort by defenseman number 2, Nyrop of Montreal. Here's Schmutz shooting it. And Dryden holds on. Tosses it away. That is the 17th shot on goal in the game for Boston. Rattel coming to the line, over the line with Smith. Here's Rattel trying to get the shot away. He was tied up effectively by Robinson. Canadians have 12 shots on goal. 3 minutes and 15 seconds left in the second period. Jean-Houle just got rid of it. Now it's back on the other side. Lapointe coming down to the line. He'll have to wait for Lemaire. He didn't.
Boston with 17 shots. That last one was number 17. They had only 16 in all of the games Saturday, and they still have the Canadians at that total of 12 as we look at the Montreal bench, and I can assure you it's been a long time since a hockey game was played here at the Forum in Montreal with only 3 minutes and 2 seconds left in the second period when the Canadians had a total of just 12 shots at the opposition goaltender.
Face off outside the Boston line. And Lafleur, along with Sharp, against Shepard and Jonathan for the Bruins. Milbury and Cournoyer with 42 seconds left in their penalties. Now Brad Park hands it off to Rick Smith. Here's Park. Park coming out slowly. He gives you that fine pass all the time. Out to Jonathan. Jonathan across the line. His pass went off shot out over the line. Now Shutter's back-handed. Now Jonathan and the crowd really reacted on that. Here's Park over to Smith. There's the shot. The rebound. Oh, Shepard flicked that one and he just missed putting it in the far side. Canadian shot in over the line and Park got back to knock it away from him. Now on the left side, Shepard laying it back to Park. Score tied at a goal, Shepard. On the other side, the penalized players are back on. Here's Brad Park. Park gets it to Jonathan, ahead on the left side to Shepard. His shot knocked down by Lapointe. Canadians getting rid of it, and they shoot it to center, and it's returned into Montreal territory by the veteran Doak. Now Lapointe with Gainey turning on the left side, and Gainey takes the pass. At center, gathering speed on the right wing. He barges in there, but couldn't catch up with it. Now Doak, ahead on the right side. To the line, Gainey feeding it back in on the move. 21 for the Canadians. Jarvis Cheevers cleared it. Marcotte getting it out over the line. Lapointe to Nyrop. Now back to Lapointe. Up on the left side, here's Gainey. Gainey putting on the brakes, backhand shot! And that was on Milbury and almost went by Cheevers. Oh, that was a dangerous play. Now Milbury coming down, takes a shot. Chico, I'll tell you what that reminded me of later when I get a chance. Now in on the boards they go. And the play is stopped. Milbury got his glove on it, didn't he?
Correct.
It reminded me of 1954 in overtime. Tony Leswick shot the puck. Doug Harvey, great defenseman, put his hand up. Puck went in off his glove. And Stanley Cup was won that night on that goal.
That's the way they're often won a lot of times. There you'll see, and the other thing was it went through Jerry's legs, which is even crazier about it. But hasn't there been a lot of crazy bounces tonight? A lot of open nets that have been missed. There you'll see it go through his legs.
That's even more frightening.
Yeah, but when it goes through your legs, you figure it's in the net because you figure you're well positioned. So if it goes by you, especially through your legs, it's probably going to end up in the net, but it just went by the post there.
Back to the play. Now it's Robinson in behind the net. 1 minute left in the second period. Robinson got away from Marcotte's intended check. Marcotte went down. Now they bump rather vigorously. O'Reilly. And that is Jarvis with Robinson coming in to help out. And Brad Park is paired off, not too dangerously, with Savard. Lambert is having words with Rick Smith. Well, so far, there has not been too much in the way of physical activity, illegal physical activity in this series.
No, it's been a very clean series, although wouldn't you say tonight has probably been the most physical of of the series. Of course, there's only been 2 games, but I think Boston would like to get into this type of thing. Here's a replay here, and Marcotte trying to throw a check is missed, and out of the picture here, he gets up and he bumps a little bit, and sticks go up in the air, and there O'Reilly comes in a little bit late. Then Jarvis. And the boys like to do that once in a while, you know, flex the muscles and get a little bit of the frustration out. Now they'll be settled down and finish off the last 50 seconds strong.
Brad Park shooting it in. Robinson clearing it to Lambert on the left side. Out he comes with Jarvis. Ohl is on the right wing. It's scooped in by Lambert. Sievers laying it to the line. Savard dumping it back in. Ohl takes the shot right on. Old Sievers had to be very alert. That came quickly. Now the puck goes down into Canadiens territory. There is Robinson with Rattel, number 10, forechecking. Robinson ahead to Lambert. Lambert couldn't get anywhere against Clark. O'Reilly feeds it off to Cashman. Cashman ahead to Rattel. He couldn't get through. Lambert with a half-dozen seconds. He stopped again. And they're checking very, very closely, and that is going to be the end of the second period. And the scoring, Park opened it at 3:57 for Boston, and then at 7 minutes, it was shut. The shot's on goal. Boston, after 2 periods out shooting Montreal, 18-13. So that would mean that Boston had 10 in this period, and Montreal had 5. So it is developing into quite a hockey game. And so the score then at the end of 2 periods, Boston 1, Montreal 1.
Raindrops keep falling on my head.
The voice, B.J. Thomas.
Hey, won't you play another somebody done somebody wrong song?
The album, the B.J. Thomas Collection. 26 sensational hits in a giant 2-album set.
And she'd sing, sha-na-na-na-na-na-na, it'll be all right. I just can't help believing when she smiles up soft and gentle with a trace of misty morning and a promise of tomorrow in her eyes. I'm hooked on a feeling.
In the stores now, 2 record sets $6.99, tape or cassette $7.99. The 26-hit B.J. Thomas Collection.
I'm a music lover, but I'm no engineer. Right, Stanley? The last time I went shopping for stereo, I was so busy checking out the specifications that I didn't have time to listen to the music. So today, I brought Stanley along. He's an audiophile. Right, Stanley? He checked out the specs while I concentrated on the music. And we both agreed on Sansui. Beautiful engineering, beautiful music. Sansui. There's even music in the name. Right, Stanley? Stanley?
2 goals in that second period, bringing about the 1-1 tie. Brad Park opening the scoring for the Boston Bruins. Steve Shutt tying it for the Canadiens. The Bruins outshot Montreal 10-5, and overall in the hockey game to date, Boston has outshot Montreal 18-13. Well, right now, as you watch the Stanley Cup playoffs, you are privileged to watch Guy Lafleur of the Canadiens, the man many say is the finest hockey player in the world today. He is tremendous when it comes to scoring goals and lighting the red light. So, with an assist from Debbie Boone in her hit record, a look at the many talents of Guy Lafleur.
So many nights I'd sit by my window waiting for someone to sing me his song. So many dreams I kept deep inside me, alone in the dark. But now you've come along, and you light up my life. You give me hope to carry on. You light up my day and fill my life.
No words necessary. The film and the music said it all. A featurette on the Canadiens' great Guy Lafleur. It's 1-1 at the end of the second period between the Canadiens and the Boston Bruins. Coming up next, Lou Nanne, the general manager of the Minnesota North Stars. Stanley Cup 78 continues in just a moment.
Lightning strikes twice. First, Thunderbird, a legend in style and personal luxury. And now, lightning strikes again. Futura, a dramatic combination of styling and technology. Thunderbird and Futura, two unique personal cars in two sizes and two prices. Only at your Ford dealer. The better ideas keep coming from Ford.
The Amway story has many chapters. This is one of them.
We felt trapped in a gray world, dead-end job, stuck at home, and then we discovered Amway.
We started part-time. We built an independent business, helped others start Amway businesses too. We're building it our way, and that gives us a lot of satisfaction and fulfillment. We're living again. With Amway, you could make it happen.
See your Amway distributor.
And get the whole story.
Introducing the patented Mark collar from Arrow. Revolutionary, and that's fact. It's the first collar ever shaped to fit the human neck. Until now, men's collars have been cut like a tube. The Mark's ingenious shaping is like a cone. Result, a comfort like you've never experienced before. A new, crisp look with the neckband out of sight. The patented Mark collar. Only by Arrow.
When you've got a hungry house full, it's so good to know. Dinner's ready, dinner's ready. Chicken the way you like it, ready to go. Dinner's ready, dinner's ready. We put it all together in a minute or so. Dinner's ready at Kentucky Fried Chicken. Pick up Kentucky Fried Chicken in your neighborhood. Colonel Sanders, boys and girls, make it finger-licking good.
Lou Nanne, the general manager of the North Stars, says he wants to talk to Sam Pollock about that number 10. Lou, Sam's not going to listen very closely to whatever you say. Lou is here to go inside the playoffs with us again, this time coaching in the playoffs. And Lou, football teams can prepare for their next opponent. You can't really do that in hockey too much because of the schedule, but at playoff time, maybe you can. Do they do it?
Well, Dick, at this stage of the game, if they change anything, they could change it right in the dressing room. You know, when you've gone so many games and you're in the playoffs and the fellas are tired, you might have some aches and bruises. What you do is maybe even give them a day off like the Bruins did today or yesterday, and maybe just let the fellas who want to have a light skate have it. You might change systems, and that's just psychological. You're changing systems when you lose to give them something, some hope. You're saying, hey, maybe the coach got something. This is going to work for us. But you don't really have to do a lot of changing as far as your patterns, because basically you've tried them all during the season. You've worked on different things for different clubs, and somewhere along the line you've worked on a system that maybe you want to insert in a game like tonight.
The psychological aspect, in this day and age of the affluent athlete, I find it strange sometimes. They say the coach has to get them up for the game. All right, does the coach have to get them up for the game?
Nobody has to get them up for a game like this. Everybody in there will be getting themselves up. And then when you've got individuals on a club, such as an O'Reilly and a Park, and if you look over on the other side and you've got a Cornway and a Savard, and fellas that lead by example, there is no need for anybody to come in and try and just get you up through words. People do it amongst themselves, and when you're in a playoff situation, you know the situation. That's why you're there. You're capable of playing that kind of competition. You get yourself up.
But doesn't a coach, Lou, have to sort of, if you will, set the tone of a dressing room? Because after all, he's the one who's in the center stage talking to his players.
Definitely, the coach is going to do that, and it all depends where he's coming from. If he's coming off a loss, or if he's going into a series underdog, or if he's going favorite, that's going to really be something that he's got to do, and he's got to maybe use things on the outside, such as newspaper clippings or feelings from other people as to their chances or as to the way the players are going to play against them. And he uses this maybe to spur the fellas, maybe to get mad at someone or to play differently or to check harder or play more aggressive or play more defensive, such as Boston did in that first period when they really checked them a lot closer than they had in the other games.
Punch him like dumped several $1,000s worth of bills in the middle of the dressing room one day, and he says, this is what it's all about, and they went out and won. Well, you mentioned the newspaper clippings. All right, the media, we hear a lot from coaches and read a lot about coaches. Is some of this the psychological warfare? Do they use the media?
No question about it, that both Bowman and Cherry are using it right now to try and cite the referees to call the game their way. Cherry wants the referees to let everything go so his club can play more aggressive. Bowman already has made a statement that for every penalty Montreal gets, Boston should be getting 3, so he wants to make sure Boston's going to give or get more penalties than Montreal. And the outside influences are really hit by media like that.
The referees, does it work? Do you think that the coach, with all the talk and the business that goes on about the officiating, does it ever chip through a little bit?
No, I think by this time they all know how a referee is really going to call it. You know, you take a fella, I can name you one referee that after the first period he won't call anything. You can have mugging out there. And you take another guy and you know in the first period he's going to call everything that comes along. You know the referees at this stage of the game. That's why players before the game are saying, who's refereeing? They were saying it again tonight. They know how far they can go at this stage of the game with the referee.
Okay, Lou, thank you very much. Lou Lanny of the North Stars will be with us throughout the finals on our telecast, and we'll return with the Stanley Cup playoffs in just a moment.
Well, it's kind of hard to describe what makes you go there. 6 feet of snow or in spring you go, every time you get a weekend free. It's just a feeling you get from the very air you're breathing. Something that says you found it right where you want to be.
Well, in the summer there's swimming and sailing. In the winter there's ice fishing, skiing. In the fall you tromp around these woods and the colors are just incredible. There's always something different. And I don't care where you go, you won't find better country or a better beer.
So get the great taste, that's Canadian. Molson Canadian. All year round it's Canadian. It's your kind of beer.
This is Ford Country, and this is Ford's lineup of tough four-wheelers. Pickups built for off-road action with big cube engines, tough suspension, extensive corrosion protection, and for $78, the tough new Super Cab four-wheeler, and the new family-sized Bronco. See Ford's tough all-over lineup of four-wheelers at your Ford or Mercury dealer.
The Montreal Canadiens and the Boston Bruins in a 1-1 tie at the end of 2 periods. A fine hockey game tonight here at the Montreal Forum. I'm sure the kind of play we're seeing tonight indicative of what will follow throughout the balance of this Stanley Cup final. Game 3 in Boston on Thursday night, and we'll bring it to you. We'll be on the air at 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time from the Boston Garden, the place where the Canadiens played twice this past regular season, winning once and tying once. So that's Game 3 from the Boston Garden, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
Hi again, everyone. Dan Kelly with New York Islander goaltender Chico Resch, and we have some highlights and a couple of goals to show the folks, Chico, from the second period. Brad Park for the Bruins, and then Steve Shutt for the Montreal Canadiens, as well as a couple of other near misses.
Well, you know, it's amazing. The game could be 8-8 as well as 1-1 because there's been a lot of near misses and a couple good goals. And here we'll see the first scored by Boston, and it comes off the faceoff, shows you how important faceoffs can be. And Dougie Jarvis doesn't lose too many, but there he loses one. And you'll see Brad Park. The interesting thing is here, he's going to get the puck back. Now, he's not really shooting to score. You'll see it's kind of just a half wrist, half slapper here, and he's really looking for the deflection by Wencek in front. And I think Kenny Dryden was looking for it too. And when it didn't come, it kind of caught Kenny off guard, and it ended up in the corner of the net. And that happens, you know, if you anticipate wrong, and we all do it.
Bruins have scored 2 goals in the series. Parker scored them both. Now the Montreal goal.
Here's a play where sometimes, you know, you do everything right and it still turns out wrong. Jerry makes a save, and see he's putting it in the corner where he should, but unfortunately Steve Shutt's there. He pokes the puck. It hits Steve's stick, or it would have been behind Steve, but it hit his stick and came right back on his stick, and he does that well. I'm not taking anything away from him. But again, everybody arrived about a split second late, and it was a 1-1 hockey game. Here we'll see some highlights now, some near misses. Jerry plays the puck here, and as much as he plays the puck, he's not going to play it perfectly each time. And there it hits a stick and poked through here, and Lambert is going to get the puck here. And Jerry's made 2 great glove saves, and here's another one. He just gets the corner of his glove on it, and again, just a super save from 15 feet. You're at the shooter's mercy, and his reflexes have been very quick. He's looked just sharp, and you know, he's really kept him in there.
Cheevers, you mentioned confidence. He looks more and more confident as the game is going along. And now, as we thank Chico Resch, we turn things over to our play-by-play announcer, Danny Gallivan.
Okay, Dan and Chico. Canadians are back on the ice. Boston has not as yet put in an appearance. Score tied at a goal. While I have a moment, I'd like to make this announcement. The Fort Elgin Kinsmen's Club's 8th annual Voyager Days weekend is scheduled for Saturday, May 20th and Sunday the 21st. We all know the great work that type of club does, so we recommend to the people of Fort Elgin patronage of the 8th annual Voyager Days weekend. Okay, Chico, you're safely back with me. Score tied 1-1. Boston, it's...
Is going along. And now, as we thank Chico Resch, we turn things over to our play-by-play announcer, Danny Gallivan.
Okay, Dan and Chico. Canadians are back on the ice. Boston has not as yet put in an appearance. Score tied at a goal. While I have a moment, I'd like to make this announcement. The Fort Elgin Kinsmen's Club's 8th annual Voyager Days weekend is scheduled for Saturday, May 20th and Sunday the 21st. We all know the great work that type of club does, so we recommend to the people of Fort Elgin patronage of the 8th annual Voyager Days weekend. Okay, Chico, you're safely back with me. Score tied 1-1. Boston, its chief aim, of course, is to get a split in the two games here. Canadians realize if they lose this one, they're going into a tough rink in Boston. So what's going to happen?
Well, of course, we don't know, do we? But I would say that Boston must be pretty happy with the situation they're in now. And I think they're going to continue to play it tight, at least for the first 10 minutes, and then kind of look for that break in the last 10 minutes. Of course, if Montreal, either team scores, it would cause it to open it up a little bit. One thing I want to point out, though, Danny, does it seem to you that the players seem to be stick handling more tonight, carrying the puck rather than dumping it in, which has become so predominant in our game? And, of course, it's before my time, but you would know. It seems to me it'd be more like the old-time hockey I hear everybody talk about.
Particularly, I thought, in the second period, they were making plays, they were holding it, not coming to center and getting rid of it and then running in after it.
Makes for very exciting hockey.
Oh, that is the hockey. And now let us see what will eventuate here in this, the third period. And it's Lafleur feeding it in. The Boston territory, Park in there chasing him is shot. In on the boards they go. Jonathan cleared it. He had the most shots over 2 periods, number 17 did. He had 4 for Boston. Now it's Milbury. Lafleur is in there doing forward checking for the Canadians. Out it comes to the line. It's kept in. Now it's slapped off the boards and picked up by Park. Park ahead to Jonathan. He hits the Montreal line. He's stick checked by Savard. Lafleur handing it off to Robinson. Robinson getting it through center. Lafleur didn't see it. Down the ice it goes. And Cheever's leaving it there, and it's picked up by Milbury. Canadians have made changes already in this, the third period. Now up to the line it goes to McNabb. McNabb to O'Reilly, deking in on that left side. There's the shot high, with Dryden going down, and he holds on. What have you there? What statistic is that, Chico?
Well, this is a statistic that isn't mentioned very often, but sometimes it's more indicative of the play than the actual shots on goal. And we have a total of 39 shots by Boston and 36 by Montreal. And as we were saying, you notice that a lot of shots have gone wide. And there's only been 19 by Boston and 13 by the Canadians on goal, but they've taken many more shots.
It's whipped around the net by LaPointe. Gainey is bumped solidly by Doe. The Bruins moving in again. Number 14 is Miller. He's after LaPointe, who pulls away from the Boston forward. Over to Gainey. It's at the line. Here's LaPointe taking a look. Fired it into the slot. Smith was there to gobble it up, and Gainey at the line, feeding it back. There's Mondeau. Cheevers out of the net. Now Gainey has it. Back along the boards it goes. Here is Régin Ould to the other side. Ould trying to get by Rick Smith. He does. And Smith finally comes up with it. He goes to center with Marcotte. LaPointe has it swept off his stick by Smith. Nyrock feeding it to Gainey on the left side at the Canadiens line. Cournoyer is moving up, and it's cleared into the corner. Mondu after Milbury. And the Bruins shooting at the center. Spinning around Savard. He fired it off the corner glass. Lambert, Mondu, and Cournoyer, the line for the Canadiens. Here's Lambert. In for Cournoyer. Park was there to deflect it to the corner. Now it's Lambert. Bumped in on the boards by Milbury. They get the whistle and the play is stopped.
From the Forum in Montreal, this is Stanley Cup 78.
The challenge of the unknown. Some men go out of their way to find it. But one thing they won't take a chance on is the way they look. So they use Brill Cream. Brill Cream conditions hair, keeps it looking healthy, natural. Keeps you confident you're looking your best. Brill Cream, for men who'll take a chance on just about anything but the way they look.
2 minutes and 23 seconds have been played, the third period. Rattel against Jarvis, and again Rattel got the face-off. Boston has won its share, certainly, of face-offs in this game tonight. Here's Risebrough clearing it in, and it is called on the offside.
Dougie Risebrough with the rather large lower lip, a souvenir of the puck which struck him in the early part of the fourth game of the semifinal series against the Maple Leafs in Toronto.
Boston won, Montreal won. Milbury, long lead pass. That will be icing with Robinson touching it.
Well, there is Jean Rattel, no doubt a very, very big bat for the Bruins. He has scored over 80 points in each of his last 4 seasons. He had 84 this past year. I wonder if he has the longest name, Danny, in the NHL. Joseph Gilbert Yvon Jean Rattel.
He's from the House of Royalty. He has to be with a name in fact. How many names have you, Chico?
Counting nicknames? Are we counting
nicknames?
No. Nicknames don't count.
Gary Allen, is it?
That's right. Close.
Glenn Gary Allen.
Drop to Gary and you're right on the money.
Well, just Glenn Allen.
I want to keep things simple.
What's going on down here?
There's a hassle about the face-off. Who's moving and who isn't, and Bob Gainey and Kerry Doak seem to be the reason for that small gathering of the clan.
From the face-off, again the Bruins getting the draw. Middleton deflected it out. Savard over to Robinson. Here's Ray-Jean Houle returning it to Robinson. Robinson, a fine pass. Jarvis was knocked to the ice by Smith, and the Bruins clearing it in. Look at the Bruins, all well in over the Canadiens' line. Now it goes to Savard, a long pass on the right side. Smith clearing it ahead to Rattel, and it is called on the offside.
Rattel showing a pretty good skill at knocking the puck out of the air that time as it was fired up from the Boston zone. Now look at the Bruins bench, and they have certainly come up with a much stronger effort tonight than was the case in Game 1. Like Milbury with a bit of a grin on the end of the bench. They were a bit tired. Ken Dryden's theory, Danny, was that the Bruins might have felt good at the start of that game Saturday, but coming off that series with Philadelphia just 48 hours before, he said fatigue would catch them early, and it looks like that's what happened.
Well, the Bruins look very, very spry here tonight, and there's Rattel dropping it by. Smith into the center ice area. Fades to the right side. And again, an offside. So we have a fair frequency of whistles in the early minutes of this third period. Does that mean they're playing it rather cautiously?
I would say so. I think they've dumped the puck in almost as much in the first 4 minutes almost as they did in the first 2 periods. And I think, and it's interesting because Montreal's got into that pattern also.
Well, a goal at any stage here in this third period could be disastrous against the team who gives up the goal. Nyrop coming out on the right side. At center, losing it to Milbury. He gets clear of it. There's Lapointe handing it off to Lafleur. Lafleur's pass knocked down by Schmott. Here is Schmott, backhand shot. And Dryden gets a whistle and a face-off in the Canadian zone, 2 seconds away from the 4th minute mark into the third period.
Kenny Dryden will not get a shutout tonight, but he is standing at 10 shutouts in Stanley Cup play. The young Canadian fan with the pennant in back of the Montreal net. Face-off now in the Canadian zone. Dryden at the right of your screen, and that familiar pose of his.
The Bruins with the defense of Milbury and Park well in over the Canadian line. They've been getting a lot of face-offs. Let's see if they get that one. They don't. Here's Schutt turning on the Jets, coming in. Good defensive play by Park. Now it comes from the left side. Oh, Savard. He's flat Marcotte at the Boston line, and the Bruins are called for icing. I guess Marcotte was not looking, Chico.
Now Bruins are yelling for interference on that one, Chico. Don Cherry might have a point. I don't think Marcotte had touched the puck. Savard leveled him with a shoulder check at the line.
Among the players, we call this a suicide pass because the pass is behind Marcotte, and he isn't looking, he's looking behind him. And you see, it could have been an interference call because Marcotte did not touch the penalty, which the rules state he has to or else it's interference.
There is Don Cherry. He does not mollycoddle his team. He's a strict disciplinarian, but they have great respect for Cherry. Here's Robinson shooting it, and he whipped it off the glass. Miller knocking it into the center ice area. Lafleur is forced back by Marcotte. Marcotte staying with him. Now Lafleur giving it to Robinson. The score is tied at a goal in the third period. Robinson to Ray-Jean Houle over on the right side. It's whipped in by Lemaire. Lafleur upended by Milbury. And the Canadian supporters thought there should have been a penalty there. Boston clearing it to center. Robinson ahead to Ray-Jean Houle, turning with Lafleur and Lemaire. Over it goes to the Boston line, cleared in by Lemaire. Lafleur is in Boston territory.
Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Montreal Forum.
Now hear this, the ones are coming. Return to your cottages quickly.
If every summer night seems like a battle you never win, then fight back with a secret weapon. Strong, effective STP insect repellent and killers. Battle the bugs with STP. Take command.
Available at these stores.
CBC covers the Commonwealth Games August 3rd to August 12th.
Face off outside the Boston line. McNabb against Ricebrough. Canadians got the draw, but it went on to the stick of Jonathan, who pumped it into the Canadian zone. Savard around the net trying to shake off O'Reilly. Now Savard takes a look. There's the pass to Lambert. Broken up on that pass off a stick by O'Brien, who bumped and knocked Lambert to the ice. Here's McNabb. McNabb over the line. Low shot wide. Robinson clearing it to the board. O'Reilly going after it. Still after it. Pass out is gobbled up by Lambert. He can't get out. The Bruins keeping it in. It's off O'Reilly's stick. Now at center. O'Reilly with it. He has McNabb on the right side, and Cornwallier got to it. Oh, Lambert. What a check he took from O'Brien. And O'Brien is going to go up.
Elbowing is likely going to be the call. This is Stanley Cup 78 from the Montreal Forum.
As you roll along, shine on. Taking time to have some fun. Shine on. This is your kind of country. It's your kind of life. Shine, shine on. And now's the time for the beer that is brewed just for the country. The beer called Canadian. Mostly Canadian. It's your kind of beer.
Could be an important moment in the hockey game. Dennis O'Brien has been penalized for elbowing, and here's why.
At 5 minutes, 37 seconds.
He corked Yvon Lambert, but good. I noticed that as that was all transpiring, Yvan Cornwallier of the Canadians was heading toward the Canadians' dressing room.
Canadians on the power play. Here's Lapointe firing it in, and the feed in there. There is Schutt behind the net. It goes to Ray-Jean Houle, back to Lapointe. He winds up. Oh, Cheevers blocked that one brilliantly. Lafleur getting it back to Lemaire. He stands on it. Here is Shepard getting it break. LaPointe is at recovery. Shepard is going in on goal, and drives it off and off in the corner. Now in front of Crosby, takes his shot. Dryden again, and Dryden covers up. Was feverish action down there in the Canadian zone.
Canadians had only one shorthanded goal against them all season, Chico, but they get awfully close to one right there.
Nice play here by Greg Shepard from start to finish. He steals the puck off Lemaire, and he'll take a quick look over here and see LaPointe coming at him. And LaPointe dives, and Kenny again, using good stick work here, poke checks him, and knocks it off in the corner, and he thinks he's out of trouble, but no, that's just the start, because oh, here's another look at it. Again, a good poke check by Kenny. Any kids watching, that's the way the poke check should be played, and of course, they had another good chance immediately following that.
A minute and 28 seconds remaining in the O'Brien penalty. And it was Boston, since this penalty has been assessed, that had the great scoring opportunities. Now Lafleur in full flight. He's down. He's in over the line. Park is after Lafleur. Lafleur around the net to the corner. Taken in on the boards heavily by Park. Now it's Marcotte cutting in on the left side. And Dryden covers up. Here's Cross in from the net. And Dryden takes it away. A rolling puck off the stick on Smart. LaPointe ahead to shot Smart. Oh, the penalty for tripping coming up against the Montreal Canadiens. Guy Lafleur is going off for tripping.
Comes with 54 seconds left in the Boston penalty to O'Brien, and I wonder, Chico, if that wasn't a delayed reaction on the part of Lafleur. Might have been upset with the check by Park, which was a great check. Nothing wrong with it, but did the job.
Well, that's right. And you know, I noticed on the first goal that, or I think it was the third goal that the Canadiens scored the other night, Guy Lafleur actually acts as a pick where he'll get in the way of the defenseman. And I think what he was trying to do was kind of run a little interference there. Oh, this was the earlier shot by Marcotte. A good save by Kenny. And then, of course, the puck in the corner, but it's thrown back out front, and he makes another good save here. And it's just great action.
All along.
Again, a good kick save, and you know, it's hard to tell who's got the power play. It's just been going up and down.
So the manpower situation has been equalized with the penalty to Lafleur. Now Nyrop shooting it in. O'Brien, however, with 40 seconds left. Lafleur with 1:45. Into the corner. Doak against Jarvis. They might get a whistle. They do.
You know, Chico, in Detroit in the third game of the Canadiens-Red Wings series, Canadians got a penalty in the first period and then proceeded to score two shorthanded goals. Somebody yelled out the next time Montreal got a penalty, yelled out, "Red Wings decline the penalty."
12 minutes and 58 seconds remain in the third period. Now Savard comes over to take over on this side to take the place of Nyrop on the left point. Montreal, everybody up for the face-off between Jarvis and Rittal. And again, we have a situation where a couple of players got rather over-enthusiastic. I've referenced to Gainey and Doak, and they moved prematurely. Now Gainey and Doak getting sticks up on each other. Back it goes from Gainey's stick, and it's out over the line, down to Dryden. Now there are just 25 seconds left in the O'Brien penalty, and barring further penalties, the Bruins then will have the advantage. Right now it's by the side. Here's Jarvis getting it over to LaPointe, broken up by Milbury. Middleton going after it against Savard. Jarvis clearing it out over the line. Milbury back into Rittal. Over it comes to Middleton. Knocked away from him by Gainey. And it is Savard taking his time. To LaPointe. O'Brien is out of the penalty box, and now the Bruins will have the advantage for a minute and 2 seconds. Savard sending it down the ice. Scores tied at a goal. And this is the third period, nearing the midway mark. Up on the right side, it is Middleton. Cashman is on the far side. Canadians breaking it up. Ray Jean-Ou rolled it back. Here's Brad Park, the leader of the Boston team. Park, over it goes to Smith on the right side to O'Reilly. O'Reilly into Smith. He got rid of it, and Savard shoots it down the ice. Keevers got a jump on the play by clearing it up on the right side to O'Reilly. O'Reilly to McNabb. In over the line, Cashman. Cashman on the backhand. Savard knocked it away. McNabb falls. It's loose. Ray-Jan Gould shoots it down the ice. And the penalty time remaining a half dozen seconds. The Bruins are not going to have time for another power play rush. Now Lafleur is back on the ice. Robinson clearing it ahead. Lafleur goes to the bench. Here's Park going to the Canadiens line, putting on the break. Canadiens starting out. Rysbrough to Cornwallis. Rysbrough going in! And he's fired it wide. He used Cornwallis as the decoy. Now it's Cashman. Back in on the right side, rubbed in on the boards by Robinson. O'Reilly bolted Rysbrough. Cornwallis over to Lemaire. Here's Lemaire. Shooting it across the line, and Doak fired it out. And the fans over there behind that glass to the left of the Canadiens players' bench did some ducking. Now, Doak bumped Lambert, knocked him down. Here's McNabb at the line. He lost it. And the stick was above the shoulder making contact.
With the score, Boston 1, Montreal 1. This is Stanley Cup 78.
Presenting the widest range of wagon sizes from Ford.
We've got ideas for working wagons, for wagons that are fun. Ideas that give you lots of room, ideas for everyone.
Pinto, Fairmont, LTD. From the peppy little Pinto to the full-size LTD and roomy Fairmont, nobody offers a wider range of wagon sizes than your Ford dealer. See him now. The better ideas keep coming from Ford, the Wagon Master.
Fairmont of the Canadiens out there now. He hasn't seen that much action. The Canadiens have had only 3 shots at the goal in this period. Only 1 has found the target. Boston has had 8 shots directed toward Ken Dryden, and they have connected on 4. Here's that last break. Rysbrough and Ivan Cornwallis. Some of the fans got on Doug Rysbrough after this one a bit, as he elected to shoot on the play, and he missed the net. Is that deflected on the way, Chico? I couldn't
Sure
tell.
looked like it. Yeah, it changed directions in front there. Must have hit Rick Smith's stick.
You know, we are just 32 seconds away from 2.5 periods of hockey in this second game, and Montreal has been limited to 14 shots. Boston has 22. Boy, it's hot up here. It's one thing I know. And you know, the winter is finally over. I think the down in Antigonish, Nova Scotia, they're making plans for next winter. Big campaign for a curling rink. And I know that you wish they'll get many financial aid enters in that campaign, Chico.
Oh, I'm always on the side of a good cause, and anything
from the West, you like curling, don't you?
That's right. That was my sport. I had to make a decision whether to be a pro hockey player or a pro curler, and I picked hockey.
There's not too much money in curling.
Well, it's getting, though, you can at least make a living.
Okay. Up on the left side, Marcotte couldn't get anywhere. Milbury against Cornwallis. Mondeau knocked it down. Lambert fired it in. Not too much on it. O'Brien clearing it. Mondeau couldn't get it. Now Lapointe played it back in. At the line, Lambert shooting it back. On the move is number 6. Mondeau jammed in on the board. Here's Cornwallis centering it. It went by Lambert on the lip of the crease. Lambert bumped his net. Here's Alvarez in front of the net. Big save by Cheevers. Bouncing puck. And Milbury has it. Milbury ahead to Miller into the center ice area. Over it goes to Marcotte. He caroms it off the board. Dryden active. Now it's back in, out over the line. Doak waiting for his teammates to get onside, and he cleared it over the glass. You know, less than 10 minutes to go in regulation time, 9:29.
You know, I would think that every team in the league should get a tape of this game and show it, because Boston has just played so well the whole game and really shut off the Canadian attack.
Well, games 3 and 4 in Boston, Thursday night and Sunday night, and we'll be on the air on both occasions, 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. Games 3 and 4 will come to you from the Boston Garden. That's Bobby Schmott at the end of the Boston bench in some kind of difficulty.
They fight for it at center. Somebody, who was it just hit Schmuck?
Oh, but
he took a solid body check. I'm trying to recall.
Lambert, I think it was. Not sure.
Lambert?
Not sure.
He looks a little doubled over there. It looks like it might be his wind. I don't think it's a knee or anything that should keep him out of the rest of the game.
So the team's making changes. Danny mentioned it is warm, and it's getting warmer in this building. It's going to log long night for some of these players. Now, the Bruins make a belated change as far as their defense is concerned, but referee Newell says no. Cashman argues the point. O'Brien and Brad Park tried to get onto the ice. Don Cherry concedes the point, and they're ready to go.
9:24 left in the third period. Doak slides it over to Rick Smith. And Cashman whipping it in on the left wing. Here's O'Reilly going in after Robinson, who gets it out. Lafleur. Lafleur passed it, and it was right on to the stick of McNabb and the Bruins. Keeping the pressure on the Canadiens, shooting it in, going in after him. Robinson is getting some skating room. Robinson over, it goes to shot going in! And there it was Doak again. He was able to get over and get that stick on the shot and the play.
You know, there was a play in the second period when Gary Doak was the lone defenseman back on a 3-on-1 break. The play went on for so long afterwards, we didn't get a chance to replay it or really comment on it. That was just a super defensive play, and he makes another pretty good one right here.
I think he epitomizes what the Boston Bruins are all about. Second effort, getting the job done, you know, not being that pretty, but like I say, how many times have you seen him flat on his stomach just like that, blocking a shot or deflecting a shot?
And in Boston, they have rewarded him with the 7th Player Award on several occasions. Now the Canadiens getting it back to the point. Here's Lapointe shooting it in, and Stevers very happy to get a face-off in his own zone. 8:42 left.
Did he take that marking pencil, Chico, and put another mark on there the other night like you thought he would when he got corked in the mask?
Well, I won't give away his secrets how he does it, but he should have.
Scoring in the hockey game. Park for Boston. Shot for Montreal. Now it comes to Middleton. He hands it off to Jonathan. Jonathan holds it, feeds it in there to the short side. Middleton centering it. Dryden very alert in goal, cleared it back. Here's Whittel out in front, and the point starting out. Down on the left side it goes. Gainey after Park. Middleton turning at the Boston line. Having difficulty against Jarvis, shooting it in. Rattel with Lapointe shooting it off the boards. Park feeding it back in, and the Bruins strategy, you can see it, stay up there on top of the Canadiens. There's Rattel doing that. Out it comes on the left side. Gainey out to Ray Jean-Houl with Jarvis. Over to Jarvis, a good pass. Back to Gainey. He fires. He scores!
7:48 remaining in regulation time. The Canadiens off the bench to congratulate Bob Gainey and indeed Doug Jarvis for the setup. Chico on the shot, and Gary seemed to see it and moved, but too late. He threw the arm up, but the puck was in the net.
Well, that's right. You don't consider Bob Gainey a sharpshooter, but you won't see a better shot than this here. It's hard to tell. It appears that he may use Park as a screen here. I'm not sure, but he gets good wood on it and up high, just in the crook of Jerry's catching hand. And like I say, just a super shot that maybe didn't look that difficult from up here, but we'll see from behind here. I think he got more on it than both Jerry and maybe even Bob expected, and it kind of surprised him.
So Montreal in front, 2-1, 7:40 left in regulation time. There's Marcotte against Lafleur. Lafleur getting it out to Schutt. Schutt still with it, hands it off to Lemaire to Lafleur. He has to chase it off the boards. Now O'Brien. Up on the boards, Robinson keeping it in to Lemaire. Here's Lafleur over on the other side. Pass was too hard. It got by Schutt. He was in the clear. There's something going away. And as Keevers stymied Lemaire.
This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Forum in Montreal.
How are sales in Toronto, Brian?
The essential thing about a meeting is you meet. What if you can't? One of the most ingenious ways of getting together is in not going anywhere at all. The conference call.
Same situation in Calgary, Frank?
Different people in different cities, all connected simply by one of you dialing 0 and asking for the conference operator who sets the whole thing up.
Dennis, would your boys in San Francisco agree?
If you have to have a meeting, and can't go, call the conference operator and have it anyway.
Well, there you have the scoring play at 12-12. Bob Gainey, his second goal of the playoffs. Poole and Jarvis assisting.
Face off in deep Boston territory. Risebrough against McNabb. Now it's back to Cournoyer. Cournoyer plays it behind the net. Cheevers trying to get it up to a player. Canadians keeping it in. Here's Risebrough. They fight for it. Risebrough still with it. Takes a look. Clark knocked it down out to Lambert. They get to Cournoyer. Cheevers chasing it. And Risebrough tried to tip in a wide shot by Cournoyer. That was beautiful to watch Cheevers going after him. It may have been dangerous, Chico, but it was exciting. It's over the glass. Tell us about the maneuvering by Cheevers.
Well, I got to say, that is an original move. I have never seen anything like that before. And that's one thing about Jerry. He always gives you a little bit more than you pay for. And here it is here. He would have followed Cournoyer all the way to the Boston bench if he would have had to. Just like a defenseman. He just hangs in there, hangs in there. He just about stopped it with his back, but he just hung in there till the last minute. And it doesn't really matter whether you stop the puck as long as you force the player to either shoot wide or hit you with it. And Jerry made just a great save. 2 in a row, really. Here it is again. Not pretty, gets the job done. That's all you can ask. Cournoyer's even laughing. He can't believe it. He's never seen anything like that.
Well, he hung him out to dry there for a few seconds. Now, Jonathan, there's a long shot. Boston's 23rd. Montreal now is 18. Canadians are leading the Bruins 2-1. This is the third period. 6:18 left. Here's Gainey in over the line. He's bodied. Puck is loose. Jonathan is upended by Jarvis. Here is Middleton getting rid of it through the center ice area. Pouncing on it is the point. And now you'll see Montreal moving up, trying to get the Bruins tied up in their own zone. They're all in there, the forward. Poole, Lemaire, now Gainey goes off and Lafleur comes on. Boston with a line of Middleton, Rattel and Jonathan. Here's Rick Smith bringing it back in for Middleton. Middleton tied up neatly by Nyrop. Good defensive play by Nyrop, number 2. And it was gloved. Gloved pass.
Well, the Bruins almost cashed in on an errant pass off the stick of Guy Lafleur, but Bill Nyrop, the big fella from Edina, Minnesota, via Notre Dame University, made the defensive play, as Danny mentioned, and he hung on to the bitter end.
Chico, he's a very, very improved player, isn't he?
He is. A little trivia question. I think everybody realized he once tried out for the Notre Dame football team, but do you know which position?
Quarterback.
That's right. That says a little bit about the mobility, and he's not considered one of the best mobile defensemen the Canadians have, but he was a quarterback, and you know they have to be mobile.
You know who beat him out?
No, I don't.
Tom Clement.
Oh, yeah?
Play now the Ottawa Rough Riders. Yeah. Another trivia question.
You're 2 up.
Chico, this dick is amazing, isn't
Oh,
he?
is he?
What a man. Now Robinson clearing it. Out it comes into the center ice area. It's whipped off a leg by Schmott. Robinson ahead to shot. He looks over on the other side, taking on the skate of Lemaire, making that head fake. In it goes, and Lafleur was skating the other way. Brad Park, he is the lone Boston goal. Gainey in shut. Having scored for Montreal. A fake pass by Milbury to Marcotte. Marcotte in over the line, back to intending that one for Schmott. It ends up in the corner. Robinson. Now less than 5 minutes to go. Canadians getting rid of it. Down the ice it goes icing. That is not a particularly good thing to ice the puck at this stage, is it, Chico? You haven't got time, Dick.
Live from the Forum in Montreal, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Get away, make your getaway from the city. Get away, make your getaway to a place in the sun with number 1.
For 50 years, more people in the world have been getting away with Johnson's than with any other outboard.
Well, the 2 coaches who were co-coaches for Team Canada in 1976, and since then have opposed one another twice in a row in the Stanley Cup final.
Chico, how about these ices? You got about 10 seconds.
Well, Montreal's tying him up well in the center zone, so they don't want to give him an advantage by having to face off deep in their own zone.
And they're doing that right now, and there's Rick Smith firing a shot that's blocked. Here's Cournoyer. He has excellent speed. Cournoyer going in! And a scintillating maneuver by Cheevers. There's going to go right over to Cournoyer. Blocked at point-blank range on the lip of the crease by Cheevers. How about that Cheevers on these two Cournoyer scoring efforts? 2-1. Montreal leading Boston. Now the Bruins coming in. There's O'Reilly. O'Reilly trying to drop it back. He does. Here's Cashman on the boards. Cashman getting it out in front. And he scores! The Bruins have tied it up. And who was that? Rick Smith, was it?
Rick Smith came in from his defensive position. Well, you miss them at one end, you put them in at the other. And the big save by Jerry Cheevers kept the Canadiens off the board, and the Bruins come right back. Rick Smith in deep, not usually in that spot, Chico Resch, and the Bruins have tied the game 2-2.
Talk about the value Terry O'Reilly has. Here he drops the puck. Now the puck's going to go behind the corner on the other side of Kenny, and Cashman's in there digging. It comes out front. Well, Rick Smith actually kind of missed the puck, but he got enough on it to shoot it in the far corner, and sometimes that throws a goalie off by the player not getting full wood on the shot.
If the Bruins go on to win this game, there's only one fellow responsible, Jerry Cheevers.
Oh, he deserves
on those saves down there on Cornwall.
That's no question about it. Just one after the other, you know. Well, there's been three now where he challenged Conway earlier, and then two there back to back. Canadians have only had 20 shots, but they've all been so tough here. Kenny just doesn't get enough wood on it, and Rick Smith slides it in the corner.
4:12 left in regulation time.
This has to be, no question about it, a big, big lift for Boston.
Oh, yes. It's going to be interesting to see now if they don't sit back. I think they should take the play to Montreal.
Now, Canadians starting out. Lafleur on the right side, going after Cashman. Montreal with Lemaire, Shutt, and Lafleur. The Bruins with McNabb. O'Reilly and Cashman. Score tied at 2 goals. There's Park with the look. Ahead it goes, and it's called to the offside, and with 3:47 to go, and the scarcity of goals in this game, you have to say that overtime looms rather large.
I agree. Scoring play, Rick Smith from Cashman and McNabb at 15:48. And that makes it 2-2.
The point I was trying to make, Danny, with 3:47 left, you're almost into overtime, and so you're going to have to score the next goal, and I think Boston should try and carry the play to Montreal.
Down the right side, Schmutz shooting it in. Savard is in there, watched by number 19, Shepard, a pass to Robinson. Here's Robinson gathering speed on the right side. He can move. Robinson over the line, trying to get in there, knocked off balance, and then knocked to the ice. And they're going to get a whistle for a face-off to the right of Cheevers. Every face-off in the end now is so very, very important.
And as you said earlier, Boston's had great success in the face-off tonight. And as you say, that could decide it, especially with the point men that Montreal have.
So Montreal with Robinson and Savard on the point. Lemaire against Shepard. That is what they call, in hockey jargon, a false start. Robinson has had an outstanding playoff. Not only in one series, every series. There's Savard shooting it in. It's off a body. In there goes Shutt. It's center. Lafleur shooting it. Oh! He missed the open side. Now it's back off a stick into the center ice area. What an opportunity Lafleur had. He was in at a fairly bad angle. Now on the right side. Schmutz. Clearing it behind the net. It's centered in front. Canadiens. Pass on the left side by Lemaire. Down the ice it goes. Cheevers. Gave it to Doak. Doak winding up on the left side. Marcotte got rid of it. Now then Savard in on the boards against Shepard. And they get a whistle.
On that last play, Dan, Jerry didn't make the save. But when you see Lafleur there all alone, it can be very intimidating. But Jerry hung with him, and he forced him to shoot it wide. And you got to pat him on the back, even though he did make the save.
In other words, it's the angle.
It made him shoot to get by him in that area, and if it got by him, it had to be wide.
Exactly, and he knew it.
Now with 2 minutes and 35 seconds left in regulation time, Jonathan ahead to Rattel. And it is called on the outside. The biggest crowd of the playoffs on hand for tonight's game, 17,426.
Just a note, that was Rick Smith's first goal in this year's playoffs and second of his pro career.
Well, he's got to be terribly happy over the turn of events. And he had a rough time in the first game. He got 3 penalties in the first period. They scored 2 goals while he was off, and I thought overall his game tonight has been rather solid, and then to cap it off with that goal to tie it has to be a big, big thing for Rick Smith.
Well, it is, and you know, the Bruins have scored 3 goals in this final, and the defensemen have scored them all. And, you know, that's what's so exciting about the playoffs. Someone that hasn't, you know, like it says here, he hasn't scored a goal, and that's his 57th game without scoring a goal.
Now it's picked up on Middleton. He shoots on a big save by Bryden. Oh, Nyrop has been injured, and what a chance there for the Bruins to take the lead as Middleton, with perseverance, took the puck away. I think he took it away from Nyrop, didn't he?
He did, and that's what caused the injury. As he lifted, or attempted to lift Nyrop's stick, his stick came up and hit Bill in the face, hopefully not the eye, but it appears that he was struck in the face. And, you know, that's a scary thing, just because with the stick and the force you try and lift the player's stick with is quite severe, and if you happen to miss his stick, like Middleton did there, and it hit Bill Nyrop flush on the face. Here it is again here. You'll see here, he's going to attempt to lift the stick, but he missed, and boom, he struck him in the eye, and of course the referee can't call, whistle the play dead till Montreal has possession or touches the puck, and that resulted in a good chance.
Very unfortunate about these eye injuries. You know, most of them are accidental.
Oh, yes, yes. Anything to do with the stick and the stick up around the face is always accidental. But, you know, it's amazing the way the body's built. With the eye built back in the eye socket, it's just incredible how many times the players are just nicked above the eye, on the nose, but very seldom do you see the player actually struck in the eye.
That's a rather interesting observation, Dr. Rush.
Well, it's probably not, but...
no, it is. I never thought of it that way, but it is so true. The number of sticks that find that area, yet the very few serious eye injuries.
Yes, thanks for bailing me out on that, but it's true, Dan, and again, I think Bill looked fine. It looks like it was just a cut, and he'll probably get stitches and play the rest of the game or the overtime if it leads to that. But here it is again. See, you'll see him come up hard here, so you know he struck him hard, and again, it was just an accidental thing, and really unfortunate.
Well, we'll try and get word as quickly as is possible, and we all hope that there is nothing serious on that injury, certainly no eye injury. Now the face-off in the Canadian zone. They jam in there, falling on the ice, and again a face-off to the left of Bryden. And Bryden, we forgot to sort of rehash that save he made on Middleton. He stood his ground there. Middleton got a pretty good shot away. He was in fairly close.
That's right. Every save at this stage is a big save, and that's the first probably of a couple that we're going to see here.
Often when you see the goalie does not move, people say, well, he didn't, they hit him. But it's the goalie coming out and cutting down the angle, isn't it?
That's right, that's right.
Now it rolls into Bryden off Rattel's stick.
People just continually trying to put the goalies down, Dan. We've got to fight for everything we've gotten, and when you make a good save, you know, it was usually lucky, or else, like you say, it hit the goalie, or if you force a guy to shoot wide, you say the guy shot wide. But 9 times out of 10, it's a good play by the goalie.
Since working with you up here, I feel now I'm fairly well disposed toward the goalies.
You feel that I'm being biased, do you?
No. I think you're terribly truthful.
Yes, well, I do too.
Here's the face-off. Robinson with it into the corner. Robinson gets it out to Jarvis. He's checked. Here's Rattel. Couldn't get a shot. Bruins are buzzing around. They drop it back, and the Canadiens in possession. Bull clearing it to the corner. Jonathan and Robinson in there. Here's Middleton trying to center it. Rattel right in front of the net. Oh! Dryden went down and picked at it, and it went bouncing. And that was a very, very close call. But the Bruins are very aggressive right now.
They are. They've taken the play away, and like I said, I think they feel that they'd like to end it if they could, naturally, before the end of the period. But I think they like their chances with a minute 29 rather than, you know, playing it safe. Here you'll see it. Again, Kenny made a good save with a stick, and it just bounced away from Jonathan. But really, the last 3 minutes, all the play's been down in the Canadiens' end.
You realize the Canadiens have not been out of their zone since they were called on that icing.
That's right. That started it, and you mentioned that. It's more than the icing. It's a train of thought you get into. You start thinking defense, and that's what they were doing.
And now let us see. It'll be Shepard against Lemaire. Lemaire shot in Lafleur. There's Shepard, Marcotte, and Schmott. Stokes and Rick Smith on the point. They just fade out of your picture as we get a close-up to face-off area. Here is Shepard trying to center it. Shot has it away. It goes off the skate of Lafleur. Park for Boston. Ahead on the left side. He missed Marcotte, who then cleared it in. And it gets caught up in the sweater of LaPointe. No, I've used all the paraphernalia I'm going to use in the playoffs. Ron Andrews wanted to know why I didn't use paraphernalia. And there is Savard with it. Ahead on the left side at center. They struggle for it. Shepard over on the left side off the boards to Marcotte. He shoots it. Dryden clearing it to Lafleur. 1 minute left in regulation time. Puck is back in Boston territory. There's Shut going after Park. And again, the Canadiens are called for icing. So you have to say, right here, at this particular juncture, the Bruins have the upper hand.
Well, no question. And, you know, the thing is, Danny, I think the pressure is more on Montreal because, you know, it's their home game and so forth. And the Canadiens, obviously, they haven't been in this position very often where they felt the pressure, you know, being tied. Even, you know, most games at home, they're up 2 or 3 at this stage of the game. And it's interesting to see they reacting. They are reacting like a lot of teams. They're dumping the puck out. They're a little bit disorganized. And it's allowing Boston to actually get the momentum.
But you're saying at times they look like an ordinary team. Now the puck into the center ice area. In on the boards they go with 43 seconds left. This has been a grueling, Titanic type of struggle.
Yeah, it's been a great hockey game, you know, and like, you know, this is what we're talking about, the finals. This is what the fans want to see. I mean, I'm biased. I know you are. And,
what?
We're both biased. You have to be, but what I wanted to see more than anything else was a good final. To see Boston do well, it gives players around the league a hope almost. You can say, well, look, if Boston can beat them, so can we. You know, the Canadiens have been regarded as invincible, and we're seeing here tonight that they can be played even or maybe beaten.
Well, they haven't been beaten as yet. Clark took his man, is shot down. Here's Rattel in over the line, dropping it back to Schmott into Rattel off his skate. Into the corner for Robinson. Ahead it goes. Here's Lemaire coming down. The pass intercepted by Schmott. Here's Schutt picking it up over the line. The shot. Canadiens in there with Lemaire. Lemaire going to the corner. Rattel has it. Now up it goes to Marcotte. Out over the line. Robinson on it. Gets it over on the wing. Here's Lafleur dashing in there. Lafleur around the net. Taken out of the play. He and Park fall. And regulation time has ended, and it is a 2-2 hockey game. So the great drama, the great excitement of overtime will be upon us after this respite of 15 minutes or so. In the meantime, we look at the Canadiens going out. The shots on goal, 28-20 after regulation time. Boston with 28. There's been some fine goaltending in this game.
Well, it has. The goalies have really taken over in the third period, both of them making one great save after another.
So the score at the end of regulation time, Boston 2, Montreal 2.
If you're a one-brand beer drinker like myself, nobody's going to talk you into switching over to Molson Diamond just because a lot of the other guys are doing it. Not even when they tell you it's got a smoother taste than your brand. There's only one thing that's going to make you change your mind, and you know it. You got to judge Diamond for yourself, like I did. So go ahead, You be the judge. After all, the other guys can't always be wrong.
Bill, the catches are off.
Hey there with that car to buy. Grow with us.
Hey there with that knot to tie.
Grow with us. Adding on that extra room. Going off to college soon. Come on, everybody, grow with us.
Scotia Plan Loans, a low-cost, convenient way to get yourself growing in dozens of ways right now.
Come to Scotia Bank and grow with us. Grow with us. Grow with us. Grow with us.
Hi again, everyone. Dan Kelly as we head for sudden death overtime in this second game of the Stanley Cup Final Series, recapping the third period in a great hockey game. Bob Gainey gave the Canadiens the lead from Jarvis and Houle at 12-12. Just around the 15-minute mark, Yvan Cournoyer had two sensational tries for a goal. Jerry Cheevers making remarkable saves. The Bruins came right back, and they tied the game. Rick Smith scoring from Cashman and McNabb at 15:48. That tied it at 2-2, and now we are on sudden death overtime. Of course, last year, you'll recall, in the fourth and final game of the final series in Boston, the Canadiens won the Stanley Cup in overtime in the fourth game of that series. We're going to have a little bit of an overtime chit-chat with a great star, a Hall of Famer, Jean Beliveau, and a newcomer to the National Hockey League, rookie Mike Bossy of the New York Islanders. Jean, if I didn't know you so well, I might say we could call this interview or this session the old and the new, but I know you're a nice guy and you wouldn't like me to introduce you like that. Jean is still active, of course, as the vice president with the Montreal Canadiens, a member of the Hockey Hall of Fame. And Jean, you scored one big overtime goal for this Montreal club. That was in the 1969 Stanley Cup semifinals against this Boston Bruins.
I believe
you remember
so,
it well?
against Boston. Second overtime.
Yeah.
Kind of game like tonight. If I remember right, the score was 3-2. That puck went around the board, and Fergie ran. I think Ori was playing, and Fergie went after Ori. Ori threw that puck around, and Provo just got it inside the blue line. And I just gave Claude a little yell. And Green was playing and tried to stop the shot, but I just had time to wrist shot, let it go, and about the same play that Bob Gainey shot scored his second goal tonight.
And that goal won the series against Boston and sent you into the final against St. Louis, and you won the Stanley Cup that year.
Went to St. Louis after.
Mike Bossy, your first Stanley Cup overtime game was game 2 of a series earlier this year against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and bingo, you get a goal in it.
Yes, I scored the goal in that overtime game. I had at least 3 tries to get it in, and the puck kept on bouncing out, and finally I was able to swipe it in.
Mike, just a sensational season for you. 53 goals as a rookie, and you're not playing at this point, and I know that has to be disappointing, but John, what a future this young man has ahead of him after a start like that.
It's certainly nice to see youngsters with great talent coming up. It's good for the game, and allow me to take this opportunity to congratulate Mike on this fine year. He made some great play, great goals. Certainly like his wrist shot.
Gets it away rather quickly, doesn't he?
It's certainly nice. Today you see too many slap shots, and especially when a guy has to take a long wind-up. That's why you see too many of those slap shots were deflected, because the guys take a long wind-up. But it's nice to see youngsters coming up with such a great wrist shot.
John, what about this hockey game so far? It's been, I said, a great game.
Well, I think it's a great Stanley Cup game. It's a very tough game out there. Maybe most of the fans don't really notice all the holding there's there tonight. Every time there's the players against each other, you see a stick if the players are defending, and it's very tough to carry a player on every play. It reminds me some of the game we had with the Leafs many years back. But in a Stanley Cup, when you reach a Stanley Cup Finals, if you expect that you won't be checked, don't be out there. Don't expect that. The Stanley Cup is it's hard to get. I remember when I was captain, I used to tell the youngsters, we're close with it, maybe only 3 or 4 games. It might take many years. I know many great ones who, naming Gadsby, for 20 years, a great hockey player, and never won a Stanley Cup. So you know that you're only 3 or 4 games away, and everybody gain a little more out there.
Mike, what are your impressions of this game?
Well, it's a nicely played hockey game. Boston has come back and really played well tonight, considering their performance the other night. And Canadiens missed a lot of chances, especially Pierre Mondeau in the first period and Yvan Cournoyer in the latter part of the third. And then you had Boston, Jean Roussel missed a couple of chances. It's going to be a real tight-checking overtime period, and it might even be a fluky goal that wins the game.
Sean, correct me if I'm wrong. It seems in overtime in recent years, the teams seem to open up more quickly than they used to. It seems to me in 10, 15 years ago, they used to play it more cautiously in overtime. Do I have the right track on that?
Well, you're probably right. I think as a whole, we all recognize that hockey is maybe a little faster than 10, 15 years ago. And I suppose that both teams try to use element of surprise, hoping to get a quick goal, and on many occasions it had happened.
Are you looking for both teams to go right after it right away?
Well, the way they've been playing tonight, they've been checking very close, but I'm sure that they're going to certainly, if the occasion or the opening happen, they're certainly going to give it a good try, I'm sure.
Mike, one thing, Jerry Cheevers in this hockey game to me is looked like the Cheevers of, well, years ago. He's just been remarkable.
Well, Jerry is a great goaltender, and he likes to challenge the hockey players who come at him and shoot. And he's had a lot of success with it tonight, especially against Yvan Cournoyer once in the third period, where he tried to pass it to Riseborough at the corner of the net. And if he keeps on coming up with the big saves in the overtime period, they just could win the game. But then again, you have Guy Lafleur and Schutt and Lemaire and Cournoyer, the fast skaters on the Montreal team that just could break it open.
Let's give you fellas an opportunity to say what you think is going to happen and perhaps who's going to win the game and who's going to score the goal. Mike, we'll start with you. You're the young guy and the rookie.
Well, Montreal's a heavy favorite, and I predict Montreal will win it, and I maybe give it to Lafleur, who hasn't had very many chances to score tonight, or Yvan Cournoyer, who has missed a lot of chances.
You go along with that thinking, Mr. Vice President
well, I have
of the
no other
Montreal
choice.
Canadiens?
Yeah, but I'm going to take Lemaire.
You're going to take Lemaire?
Yes.
That's John Beliveau, and that's Mike Bossy. We thank you, fellows, for bringing back some memories, Jean, of your overtime goal and for Mike's overtime goal of not very long ago, earlier this year in the Stanley Cup playoffs. We'll return with the Stanley Cup 78 in just a moment.
How to help provide early warning protection against fire. No two fires begin the same way. Sometimes they start as simply as this. To help protect your family, General Electric developed the Home Sentry smoke alarm system. When this sensitive device detects smoke, it sounds a warning, providing time for escape. The GE Home Sentry system. It could help save your family's lives. Canadian General Electric, working to give you your money's worth.
Sports on CBC television, amateur or professional, men's or women's, team action or individual effort in provincial, national, or international events, such as the Commonwealth Games taking place in Edmonton in August. CBC brings it to you right here.
Lou Nanny, the general manager of the Minnesota North Stars, a regular on our Stanley Cup Finals telecast. Lou, a quick comment from you on the third period of regulation time.
Well, Dick, it was a fine play period, really tight checking, as Jean Beliveau said. There was a lot of interference, but there were some good chances by both teams, and especially by Cournoyer, that just seemed to turn the tide at that moment on the ice. He had two great chances to put the game away for the Canadiens. Cheevers, with unbelievable saves, comes up with the key stop in the same play. The puck goes on the ice, and Boston capitalizes and ties her up.
All right, we have the highlight, I believe, of the tying goal that was scored by Rick Smith, only his second playoff goal, Lou, in 57 Stanley Cup games. And this is the rush just after Cheevers had made the save.
That's right. The puck is put into Montreal zone, and you have to remember at this time your defensemen are going to gamble. You're down 2-1, it's late in the game. O'Reilly fighting hard in the corner for the puck, and he's backed up by McNabb. As the puck comes out to Cashman, there's a big jam up in front. Now, when you see McNabb and both LaPointe reaching for it, they miss it, and here comes Smith sliding in and just fires that puck in the net, ties the score, and as you know right now, the momentum could be on Boston's side.
A couple of things that interested me. Oh, we're going to see this again from another angle. I think this is almost the angle you had from where you were sitting. But O'Reilly makes a good play here. He hangs tough after LaPointe had taken him out. And that's what started it, with the Bruins maintaining control. Or
here's LaPointe and McNabb both reaching for it, and the puck stays there. And that's Smith following up the play, as you see him putting it in the low corner by Dryden.
Lou, in the game tonight and in that period, as we look at it again, the Canadiens had, it seemed to me, a lot of 2-on-1 chances, and most of the time they didn't get a shot on the net. It's very strange to see them in this situation.
Well, Dick, you know the Canadiens are a shooting club, and what they've been doing, they've had numerous 2-on-1 chances, and the puck area's been unloading the shot. I don't believe they've tried one pass across on the 2-on-1 all night long. And as you said, they aren't getting shots on the net. They're hitting the glass, they're missing the net. They're really trying to drive it past Cheevers rather than just going for a corner and maybe a rebound as the second man's coming in on the net. And because of this, the play seems to be catching a couple of Canadians deep, and Boston has come back numerous times and had chances of their own.
I know you noticed something really Lafleur-Marcotte matchup in that third period.
Well, I should say Cherry was keeping Marcotte on Lafleur. And Scotty was keeping Lafleur off the ice until Montreal got the lead 2-1. Now they put Marcotte back on the ice, and he puts Lafleur out because he knows Marcotte's going to check Lafleur, not thinking about scoring as much. So when you're leading, you want to put your scorers out there hoping that they're going to be checked and time's going to run out on them. But now you go in the overtime. Now what do you say? If I'm Scotty, I start Lafleur because he can win it. If I'm Don Cherry, I start Marcotte because now the longer it goes, the momentum of the home rink is gone by now. And the longer it goes, Boston's got a better chance to win it.
Very briefly, Lou, your comments at the top of the show about the way the Bruins should play, or you expect them to play, have pretty well come true.
Yeah, they played a lot tighter than they did the other night. They weren't forechecking that second man unless they were sure. They came back with four guys across the blue line, forcing Montreal to dump it in. Consequently, Montreal's not getting the open shots that they had the other night.
This is the first time this year that the Montreal Canadiens have gone into sudden death overtime. The Bruins, it is the 5th time for the Bruins. They had 2 overtime games in their series with the Chicago Blackhawks and a couple in their series with the Philadelphia Flyers, perhaps only one. I just kind of caught me on that for just a minute. Anyway, the Bruins have been there before this year. The Canadiens have not, and they're going into overtime right now with the score tied 2-2. We heard a lot of predictions here a moment ago from Mike Bossy and Jean Beliveau who might score. Let me see, they both picked the Canadiens. What about you?
Well, I've got to go with the Canadiens, and I was going to go with Lemaire because he's got the shot, and really he's dangerous all night long, and I expect Lafleur to be watched more. Lafleur, as you know, is the most dangerous player, but Lemaire is awful dangerous, and he makes his chances count. He did it last year against Boston.
One thing that is often said, the team that ties the game late in regulation time has the old cliche momentum going when overtime starts. Does it hold true?
Well, I'd have to say right now Boston's very confident. They've come out here, they've played an excellent game, they've showed that they can play the Canadiens. They feel that they can beat the Canadiens in there, and I think they've got a good chance to do it.
The goaltending, I don't know. I look at goaltenders, Lou, all year in hockey, but when it comes to sudden death overtime, that's got to be something else to stand there.
Well, Jerry Cheever's been through it quite a bit, so has Kenny Dryden. They're both professionals. Cheevers, as you know, it just seems to be a money goaltender, and really it could be a fluke that wins it. I don't see either of these goaltenders giving up anything easy, so it could go off someone's shoulder or skate blade or stick. It could be a deflection that wins it.
I'm going to sit on the fence. I'm going to say if the Canadiens win the game, it'll be Steve Shutt. Of Boston, it'll be Jean Rattel. All right, thank you, Lou Nanny. Now, back up to the broadcast booth, and here again, Danny Gallivan.
Okay, Lou and Dick, and as we mentioned when we wound up the third period, when you get into overtime, it's punctuated with drama and excitement. You went through it in the 7th game against Toronto. What did you talk about in the dressing room? Did your coach say, okay, boys, let's storm after them right away?
Yeah, we talked about getting the goal early.
You can say hello to Moose Jaw again.
I think they're probably getting sick and tired of seeing me, Danny. What you try and do, of course, is be confident going in. And one of the things we said, well, listen, we know what's in here, who's going to be the hero? And I'm sure both teams are saying that type of thing where they're both, trying to build each other up, confident-wise. And then I think both teams are going to try and end it early. As we talked about, Montreal maybe have to go with 3 defensemen. You don't want it to drag on too long, or I'm sure they don't. Boston, the same thing. They want to get that first goal. Not give Montreal too many good chances. So I think both teams are going to come out storming, or at least attempt to.
Well, Chico, the last time Boston and Montreal went into overtime here at the Forum in Montreal was April the 24th, 1969. Beliveau scored. That's his only overtime goal at 11:28. That was into the second overtime period. Montreal 2, Boston 1 on that occasion. Right now, as we get set for overtime play, in this, the second game of the 1978 final series, the score is tied at 2 goals. We have Lemaire going out with Lafleur and Schutt, and it is Shepard, Marcotte, and Schmutz, the forward line for Boston. Play is underway, and here's Savard scooping it ahead. It's picked up on the left side by Milbury. It's in over the line. Robinson going after it, and there is an offside.
I see Bill Nyrob is not on the bench, Danny, so it might be something a little more serious than we anticipated.
Let me ask you this. Do you think Scotty Bowman will go along with 3 defensemen rather than use Lupien or Bouchard?
I think he will for a time, but if it drags on, he's going to have... Savard looks very tired out there.
Here's Robinson up on the left side, and it goes to Schutt. There's the shot! And that went off at a peculiar angle off the left glove hand of Chivas. Shepard, his pass knocked down. Lafleur over to Schutt with Lemaire. Broken up at the line by Milbury. Lafleur backhanding it in. We're into overtime. Now Park got rid of it. Down the ice it goes. This will be an icing against the Boston Bruins. How about that shot by Schutt?
What made it difficult was the fact that Schutt, again, somebody had a stick on him and he didn't get all the puck. So it's kind of like a change-up in baseball. You're expecting the big boomer. And see here, Brad takes a little bit off the shot, and as you can see, it just caught Jerry on the edge of the glove. And what the heck, as long as it goes wide, it doesn't matter if it's by a foot or 3 feet or an inch, or as long as you get a piece of it. Jerry did the job.
That's that power of positive thinking.
That's right. That's what you have to do in a situation like this.
Canadians, everybody. Up, there's a shot by Lemaire right on. That was almost into the net, but Cheevers was there. Here's Park, clearing it off the boards. At center, Lemaire has it. Twisting and turning, getting some skating room. A good move by Lemaire. Takes the shot. The rebound, big rebound right in front of the net. And Smith finally cleared it. Here's Lafleur back into Lemaire. He shoots it, it's off the leg. And Rattel has it for Boston. Rattel to Rick Smith. Into the center ice area to the Canadiens line. Robinson giving it to Lemaire. Lemaire shooting it off the leg, and Park is back there in his own zone. Canadiens have made changes. Park ahead to Rick Smith. Off his stick, and it's swept over the boards at the Boston bench by Guy Lapointe.
Boston weathered the storm there. As you know, they started Schutt, Lafleur, and Lemaire hoping probably to get that early goal. They got a lot of good chances, but Boston weathered it. And now Boston probably will attempt to throw a little more offense into the game. They've been kind of playing this whole first overtime in their own end. And it's tough to score from your end of the ice.
It's definite now that Bowman is going along with 3 defensemen.
Yes, yep.
He just sent Savard out. Robinson went to the bench. Lapointe is the other defenseman. Here's Lapointe on the right side, rolling it ahead. Rick Smith has it for Boston. Ahead it goes to O'Reilly. In on the left side. Cashman being watched by Lapointe. It's center. Puck loose in from the net. McNabb was tied up. Here's Mondu down on the right side. A pass. Réjean to Gainey. There's the shot. Cheevers. He looked as if he were going to leave the rink.
Well, like I say, Jerry likes to get involved and put on a little bit extra, and that's good. You know, that keeps a goalie in the game, and he does it well. And he's playing extremely well. I'm really happy for him, too, because...
Well, he has a reputation of being a money goalie.
Yeah, he likes money as much as any goalie in the league, I think.
Well, if that's the case, all you people are excellent. Now O'Reilly in on the boards against Gainey. Mondu is bumped by Doak. Here's Doak clearing it to the point. Savard has it. Over it goes to Réjean and the Bruins, 4 of them coming to center. Over to O'Reilly. Across the line. He loses it. McNabb is going to keep it in. He was bumped after getting clear of it by Gainey. Now it's Lapointe. Ahead to Savard. Back to Lapointe. Dangerously in front of the net. He gets away. Lapointe down on the right side. Clearing it in. Here's Cashman with shot after him to the other side to O'Reilly. Kept in by Lemaire. He lost it. McNabb to O'Reilly. Down to the line. Picked up and wheeling away on the right side. A ski shot. He gets away from the check. And it was O'Reilly who went flying. Pass goes to the open wing, and now Brad Park clearing it ahead. Oh, it almost got by Robinson with Schmotz getting in behind him. Now it's Savard at center. 4 Canadians to the Boston line. A pass broken up by Mark Clark. Over on the left side. McNabb elects to go to the Boston bench. Here's a pass off the board for Schutt going in. Park sweeps it away. Schutt again to Lafleur. Now it goes to Robinson. Cleared by Shepard. And it's into the center ice area. We're nearing the 4th minute mark in the overtime. It's tied at 2 goals. There's Lafleur moving in. Off the boards it goes. Lafleur after it again, and the Bruins tip it down on the right side. Here's Schmotz. Schmotz trying to tee it up. He couldn't center it. Robinson in the corner clearing it. Lafleur, his pass off a stick. Lafleur chasing it. And it's broken up by Doak. Down the ice it goes. And the Canadian supporters and some of the Montreal players thought there should have been icing on that. Oh, there's Cornwall bumping Jonathan. And there's an offside.
Good call by Claude Béchard. What obviously many of the fans here missed was the fact that a Montreal player tipped it on the way down. And I know you caught it and I caught it, but some of the fans obviously didn't.
By and large, these officials do an outstanding job when you consider the pressure they're under, particularly in a game like this, overtime.
Well, they are, you know, and the replay usually bears out that they were correct, and that's quite a tribute to them. Because they're under as much pressure as the players, really.
Now Robinson up on the left side. Jarvis couldn't pick it up. Rattel ahead to Middleton in over the line. And the Canadiens defenseman of Robinson, Lapointe back there. Here's Lapointe chasing it over to the right side. He'll get clear of it and out over the line. He couldn't. Now Gainey. Ahead it goes to Rizzo. Here's Will getting a break and a goal. He fired it. Blocked by Chivas. The first big scoring opportunity in the overtime. Back it goes, and it's out over the line. And that's for the Canadiens, their 25th shot on goal. Boston with 28.
We have a term we use among the goalies. You say the goalie's on the puck. That means he's positioning himself well. He's watching it. The puck looks like 3 feet large. And here again, Jerry's just in super position. He's out, he's in front of the crease. And really, Houle didn't have much to shoot at. And with the defenseman coming back, forcing him to hurry it. Here you'll see Jerry outside the crease. Perfect position. Nothing to shoot at. And just a good save, you know. He's just been so solid in there. It's really good to see, because I know he really wanted to do well in this series after last year, and he's sure done it.
It is O'Reilly. Over on the right side, Cashman on the other wing. McNabb at center for Boston. Lafleur, Lemaire, and Schutt for the Canadiens. Here is Savard. Up it goes. Schutt is over the line with Lemaire. Poked away by Park. Boston coming back. O'Reilly couldn't penetrate on the left side. He gets it again. Over it goes, and Savard plays it off the boards. Out it goes. Lemaire try to get it across the line. There's Schutt chasing after it. And the Bruins take over. At center, it's Cashman across the line. Takes the shot, and Dryden held on.
Another sharp play by the goalie there. Not so much that it was a difficult save, but he gloved the puck and didn't allow a rebound. And in a situation like this, you just don't want to give the opposition any more chances than at all possible. And I think you'll see both goalies freezing the puck whenever they're able to. Here it is again. It's quite a ways out, but like I say, the secret here was Kenny grabbing the puck and holding it for no rebound.
Face off to the right of Dryden. Scotty Bowman has sent out Cournoyer, Lambert, and Jarvis. And Cashman, McNabb, and O'Reilly still up front for Boston, and Smith on defense. It's back at the line. Cournoyer chasing it to the far left side. Doak is the other defenseman for Boston. He broke up Lombero, got it a second time. Cournoyer racing after Cashman. Bonduc tried to get it, but it was way by him down the ice, and that's definitely going to be icing against the Boston Bruins. And 5 minutes and 34 seconds have gone by in this first overtime. And there is Don Cherry. So in this series, we have two men, 44 years of age, each of them, and their coaching record over recent years, that coaching record has been sensational by both Bowman and Cherry.
Winners all the way, both of them.
Backhand shot. Here's Cournoyer. Another shot. Two big saves. There's Robinson shooting it. And it went off with Flair's leg wide. Great chances. Right out in front of his foot. They got it in. And a goal from there. Tom Bear shot it wide. Here's Robinson shooting it in there. Right in front. Another shot. Another save. Oh!
Unbelievable.
What remarkable goaltending by Cheevers. Have you ever seen the like of that?
Oh, that's just the greatest. I mean, Jerry's just doing everything. He must have stopped. I don't know if you could keep count of how many shots he stopped. Let's see if they'll show us here in the replay. There's the first one. Now the rebound. He comes out again, cuts the angle down, stops one. The rebound up in the air. It's going to come back to the point here. Now watch him turn around. Robinson shoots it. He gets his left pad on it in the corner. Now Boston trying to get a whistle here. They're not able to. The puck's going to go around. Jerry's lost his stick. It's kept in. He dives across. Stops one. You think he's out of trouble. He just picks himself up. You know, the puck doesn't come out front here again. In a minute to Cournoyer. One save. It's loose. Another great save. And, you know, what can you say? It's just incredible. Puck won't go in.
Absolutely phenomenal the work by Cheevers. Here's the Flair taking his shot. And it hit a leg. Here's Middleton getting in on goal. Shoots and Dryden rises to the heights for the Canadiens. Here's LaFleur chasing it on the right side. Robinson trying to get in front. And Park cleared it away. They're going all out. They want to end this just as soon as possible. But the goalies refuse to give in. Now Park shooting it into the center ice area. Off Middleton's stick, back in it goes, and LaPointe lobbed it high into the air. Park feeding a pass in on the left side. Jonathan moving in against Robinson, who cleared it to the other side. Middleton trying to come up with it. Robinson gets it again. Out on the left side to center. O'Brien feeding it ahead. Brettel penetrates the line. Brettel taking a shot, and it's blocked by LaPointe. Canadiens, good move by Steve Shutt. Here's Shutt running it over the line. He flies down at the line. And what a reaction by the crowd. Here's Lemaire coming back for the Canadiens with Réjean. That shot ricochets off for leg and an offside.
Wow, great excitement. I know Mr. and Mrs. Nyrob are probably watching this game back in Minneapolis, and we have a report that Bill had a wound under his right eye, nothing serious. He's gone to the hospital and obviously be lost for the rest of this game. Here the replay is Steve Shutt with the puck. This is the hook here, and see, he doesn't really go down, and here's another little trip, and you know, in a different time, a different situation, there may be penalties, but in a game like this, you can't really call something like that. Not that...
What infraction is going to bring about a penalty in the overtime?
Good question.
Score is tied at 2 goals. And LaPointe over to Savard. Now loose puck over on the far side. Cashman is racing up, taken out of the play by Jarvis. There is LaPointe off the boards. Gainey starting up on the left side. Gainey taken out of the play by O'Brien. O'Brien has played some fine hockey since coming into the game in the second period. Number 28 for Boston. Now O'Reilly going down to the line. Here's Cashman. It's knocked off his stick, and Gainey starts away with Réjean. Gainey in over the line. Here's Gainey trying to get in front. Poked away by Rick Smith. The Bruins get it out over the line. Savard takes a look over to Robinson. Robinson into the center ice area, hits the Boston line. He weaves into the corner. Here's Robinson getting in front of the backhand shot. A scramble. again, Chivas holds it up.
Tougher save than it looked like. With Robinson cutting out front, the important thing there for the goalie is to hold his ground. And Jerry not only held the ground to make the first save, but he remained stationary, and Robinson wasn't able to jam it in. Here you'll see a great burst of speed here by Larry Robinson. And he handles the puck real well, as you'll see here, Danny. He comes out front, he shoots, and there's Jerry on the puck again, gets that leg in the right place, and they're not able to jam it by him.
Chico, the potency of the Canadiens' offense in this overtime is reflected in the shots on goal. At the end of 3 periods, Boston had 28, and Canadiens had 20. Now Montreal has 31, and Boston has 30. So the Canadiens are out shooting them 11-2 in the overtime. And it's still tied at 2 goals. Schmutz rolling it into the center ice area. 11 minutes and 34 seconds left in the first overtime. Here is Schmutz trying to center it. It goes into Dryden. He catches it. Number 19, Shepard, was there looking for a loose puck.
I've seen these games so often, I'm sure you have too, Danny, where one team completely controls it, can't seem to put the puck in the net, the other team will come down, get one good chance and end it. And it's just incredible. I don't think I've ever seen a team with so many good chances and the puck, you know, mainly because of Jerry, just hasn't gone in the net. And it's got to be a good feeling for Boston. They got to feel that they kind of have 9 lives tonight.
Well, in this overtime, Cheevers has kept them in there. Now Canadiens shot into the center ice area, long pass. Here's Lafleur chasing it. He missed it. Into the corner, Park. Laying it ahead on the left side. And
it'll be icing. Icing
against the Montreal Canadiens.
Lafleur was going in the corner there, Dan, to pick
he
up the
missed
puck.
It completely, didn't he?
Correct. So again, another example of I missed it until the official called it, and then I realized, here you'll see it. But the officials are really sharp, and he misses the puck there, and it should be icing, and Claude Béchard does a good job of calling it. Every face-off was important, and that was a big break for the Bruins.
The Bruins with the defense of Milbury and Parkin over the Canadiens line. Schmutz spins Savard around. Lafleur against the boards, watched closely by Shepard. And again, we'll get a face-off in Canadiens territory, and this has to be advantageous to the Boston Bruins getting all these face-offs down there in Montreal territory. Lafleur and Schmutz move too quickly. And now let's see what's going to happen from in front. Savard gets it out. He hit Lafleur. Lafleur ahead on the left side. Schutt jams the shot in there wide. In along the boards, Milbury. Here's Steve Schutt with it. Takes the shot. Cheevers is getting a face-off in his zone. And now Montreal out shooting Boston 32-30.
We're rapidly approaching the longest overtime game this year, Dan. The longest game went 10 minutes and 17 seconds, and Boston beat Chicago 4-3. Peter McNabb got the winner.
In recent years, you know, overtimes do not go very, very long. It's the way, I guess, the hockey is played today. You have defensemen or offensive men, and the teams go out there and they want to get it over with.
That's right.
Now here's Lafleur over for Lemaire. Lemaire trying to center it against Rattel. It's back on the left side. Jonathan hands it off to Middleton. Middleton had the Bruins' best scoring opportunity in this overtime, and now the Canadiens with Guy Lapointe ahead it goes. Lemaire shooting it! Oh, that was a blistering drive. It was wide. Now off the glass. Gainey keeping it in. Gainey off the bench, close to the corner. Gainey trying to jam it out in front. Here's Gainey at the side of the net. Smith is down. Puck is under Smith. Face-off will be to the right of Cheevers. That was a lot of hustle by Gainey. You notice he just came off the bench and went in there.
Yeah, he's one of their hardest workers. And Rick Smith, who we're looking at, we talked about it earlier, but he's just played just a great game. And here again, he's out front where he should be. He sees the puck is loose there, and although Montreal fans didn't agree, I think it was a good call that he didn't get a penalty and he was able to tie it up. And another good effort by Rick Smith, who's having himself a great game tonight.
So it's a sweltering atmosphere that we have at the Montreal Forum, literally and figuratively. The tension, you can cut it, and it's hot. Now back it goes to, backhand shot by Jarvis, weak shot wide. Into the corner, it's cleared on the left side. By Milbury, down into the Canadian zone. Robinson tried to hit Gainey, it's off his stick. There's Park being watched by Jarvis. Jarvis falling. Park off the boards. Rattel dropping it back for Jonathan. Jonathan at the line. His shot is going in on goal. Great play by Jonathan, but he couldn't control it. Canadians starting on the left side. Jarvis taking on the play by Park. Middleton off the boards. Feeds it ahead. Savard clearing at the center. Here's Rattel. Intercepted by Robinson. Robinson coming down. Robinson, takes the shot. And Cheevers had it covered all the way. Now it's back out over the line from the stick of a Canadian player. No icing, of course, on that. And Savard lays it up on the left side. Now there's the lead pass. Mondu, he's bumped. O'Reilly playing it to Cashman over on the right side with McNabb in on the line. Hot shot by Cashman. Oh, he had plenty on that one.
Tougher save than it looked. Kenny Dryden was screened a little bit, and Cashman got good wood on it. And again, not only did Kenny make the save, but he hung on for the rebound here. Again, you'll see it here, and he gets good wood on it. Kenny made a good glove save, and of course then he hung on for the rebound, which is what you want to do. There you'll see the Bruin player. A rebound there could have been deadly.
Chico, we are now into the longest overtime of the 1978 playoffs, the previous to 10-17. There you see Gainey upending his check in the center ice area. Austin, everybody up. O'Reilly on the boards. Cournoyer getting it out to Lambert with Cournoyer. In it goes. Cournoyer in behind the net. Cournoyer centered it, and it's gobbled up by O'Reilly. Knocked off his stick by Lemaire. Doak gets it to the line. Canadians keeping it in. It's knocked down in front by Lemaire, and he couldn't get a shot away. Canadians applying the pressure. Here's Lemaire. He falls. The Bruins out on the right side. O'Reilly with McNabb and Cashman. O'Reilly trying to get through there, and LaPointe drifted it into the air. Lemaire couldn't pick up the pass from the stick, or Lambert couldn't from the stick of Lemaire. Now along the boards. It's at the line. Smith over to O'Reilly. O'Reilly cut by two players. Now O'Reilly digging to the right side and feeds it finally over the glass.
Well, you wonder how long Montreal can keep the sustained pressure. They've just been going and going right from the opening faceoff, and still it's tied. And like I say, going with the three defensemen, you wonder if they couldn't be a little bit tired. We've seen a lot of Lafleur and Shutt, so it appears that Scotty's been going with primarily maybe 8-10 players.
Robinson, Mondu ahead on the right side. LaPointe cleared it in over the line. Out it comes. Here's Lafleur with Mondu. Lafleur drops it back, and Smuts has it. Over on the left side. Oh, LaPointe just stopped that. It was headed for Marcotte, who would have had a clear path in on the left side. They struggle on the boards. Mondu playing it to center. Marcotte rips a shot into the corner. There is Robinson. Checking number 19 for Boston, Shepherd. Motionless is Robinson. He takes a look. Now Lafleur. Lafleur, rink-wide pass for Mondu. Mondu over the line, puts on the brakes. Takes the shot. It ricochets off the stick to the far corner, and Marcotte. He hit Shepherd with it. Shepherd shooting it. And Dryden grabbed that, and that is Boston's 32nd shot on goal. Robinson leading a four-man Montreal attack. Lafleur shoots. you know, Scotty Bowman, this is the first time I've ever seen him do it. He left the bench, and he has gone down there to congratulate Lafleur. And, of course, the Canadiens bench empty, and Montreal getting a tremendous ovation. And they realized how important this game was and what a struggle the Boston Bruins put up here tonight. So the Canadiens up 2-0 in the series. There's Robinson. And we'll have a chance for you to describe it later, Chico.
I think your last statement where you said Montreal knew they were in a game, I think that was indicated by the fact that Scotty for the first time came out on the bench. I know when I'm in probably the tougher games, you always seem to have a little more enthusiasm. Here's the overtime goal. Given to Guy Lafleur, and he fires from the top of the circle, and again, he shoots the puck so well, just misses Jerry's left pad. And again, it wasn't, I mean, it's hard to say. Jerry stopped so many great ones, and you might say, well, what was he doing on that one? But Lafleur, who I've always said, you take velocity and accuracy, Guy Lafleur is #1, and he indicated it there again. Here's the play.
There it is, Chico.
Oh, yeah, Larry Robinson makes the play again, gives it to Guy, and now we'll see exactly where he shoots the puck from. Just outside the top of the circle. And again, a bullet, low, and just the perfect spot, just below the goalie's glove. And I guess that comes as no surprise.
So he has done it so often. Super great hockey players, they rise to the occasion, don't they?
They have to. I guess that's why you consider them great. And a big article on Guy today in the paper, and
the third star,
you know, like I say, you know it as well as I do.
Well, Jerry Cheevers was selected as the third star, no question about it, and he didn't stay out to take his bow.
We'll return with Stanley Cup 78 in just a moment.
What's it take to brew a great light beer?
Brew a beer with great taste. There's only one place to start. Molson Light has got heart, 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 miles and miles of heart, heart, heart. Molson Light has got heart.
Had one yet?
A couple of chaps named Irvin and Kelly have enjoyed this hockey game tonight, I'm sure equally as well as the viewers have from coast to coast in Canada and the United States. The Canadians winning it 3-2 in overtime. That's Guy Lafleur's second overtime goal. He scored one against the Vancouver Canucks a few years ago here at the Forum. Dan Kelly, I kind of wondered on the goal. Chico said, well, you might look at Jerry Cheevers and say, what was he doing on it? I wondered if Cheevers maybe thought the shot was going to the far side.
I think when you have a hockey player, Dick, of Guy Lafleur's ability, that's goaltender's problem. He doesn't know what he's going to do, and I think Cheevers may have been thinking that Lafleur was going for the wide side as well, and Lafleur rocketed it by him on the short side, and you can't really fault Cheevers. What a hockey game he played, and I was really delighted to see him. You know, one of the old veterans on that hockey club, and he really came up tall and just played himself a great game. And I thought the interesting thing, Dick, is Lafleur, as we look at the goal, and it's interesting that the big Canadian guns, Robinson and Lafleur, a couple of them, Robinson with the pass, here's Lafleur's shot, right under Cheevers' glove as he beats him to the short side. And I thought the interesting thing, Dick, Lafleur had not played as well here tonight as he has in many a hockey game.
Should Ken Dryden have had an assist?
He handled the puck.
Certainly.
Got it to Robinson. Over on the right side to Lafleur, and the low shot just under Cheevers' glove on the short side. But the interesting thing, Lafleur looking well, ordinary tonight, while he usually looks superlative, but he comes up and gets the winning goal.
He certainly did not dominate the game, Dan. You're right, the way he did here with the opener on Saturday. That's got to be a tough one for the Bruins, but I don't know. A win here tonight, it would have been a completely new series. And really, for 3 periods, I thought they outplayed the Canadians, but they certainly did not in the overtime.
No, it was really a question of how much time it was going to take or if Boston was going to get a break, because the Canadians just seem to be keep coming on, and you wondered how long they could hold on. The only thing I thought was, well, Boston's going to get a breakaway sometime and maybe upset the apple cart. But I enjoy it. I thought it was a great hockey game.
Dan, thank you very much. Look forward to working with you in Boston on Thursday night. Dan will be there along with Chico Resch and Lou Nanne as we bring you Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. The Canadiens have taken the 2-0 lead on the goal by Guy Lafleur in overtime. Larry Robinson assisting at 13:09. So the final score tonight, the Montreal Canadiens 3, the Boston Bruins 2. Good night from Montreal.
Live on CBC, Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Ford of Canada, on behalf of Ford and Mercury dealers from coast to coast. Ahead and participating retailers and record companies in Canada. The Bank of Nova Scotia, with nearly 1,000 branches across Canada to serve you. Molson's, brewers of Molson Canadian Lager Beer.